Here is the best possible start to Crimson Desert after the patches and changes that have happened to the game. I'm going to teach you how to get overpowered and rich early on, the best way to control the game as a PC mouse and keyboard player, and optimal early quest routing so you can maximize your inventory space and get easy level ups. Let's get into it. At the start of the game, there is nothing that you can do to really change anything. There's no special loot to get. There's no missables. And the game isn't open yet. The world is not open, so just proceed and follow the quest instructions on the left side. So in this case, it wants us to head to the cabin. And yes, you are forced to walk there. It's painful. It's a painful start, but it does get better. During the combat segments, there is no looting things. You cannot disarm enemies and steal their weapons. Don't worry about dying as you kill the enemies if you are dying. Just get a feel for the game. There's not much to really do here. Once you get to the Corridor of the Void, again, there is nothing missable here. Just proceed through the tutorial. So this part confuses people, but you just hold your blinding light button, and then you just shine into the orb, and you hold it until it opens the door. Alright, there is some stuff to do in the prologue before you advance to Chapter 1, and so as soon as the game starts, we're going to follow the guy as the game wants. We're going to walk up a path, and then you will get into a small fight with two bandits. After that, we can break free and go explore and get some loot. Once you've killed the bandits, don't follow the man. Instead, make a safety save. And at this part, the world is mostly open to us. But again, you want to make a safety save. Now, the game won't let you do that, but if you walk away from him, it'll let us break free. So we're going to actually run back down towards the fishermen, kind of in this area here. And in a box near where they are fishing right here, there is a fishing rod that you can take, and no, it's not considered stealing. And there's some other stuff in this box too. So we're going to take the fishing rod. There is this high purity gunpowder. This is just a trade good. You won't be using that until about Chapter 5. But you can take it and pretty much all the other stuff if you want. But you'll notice in our inventory, this bottle that we got is only worth 1 copper. So we're going to throw that on the ground. But we do have a food item. All right. Now, before we proceed anywhere else, if you use your blinding light and you look around, you'll see like there's a shining light there. And you can look around and just look for secrets around the world. Now, straight ahead here, there's actually a waypoint that we want to grab. So what we're going to do is we're going to cross the water, and you'll see quest canceled in the top left corner. Now that it's canceled, and don't worry, we didn't lose the quest. We can go back and do it any time. We're going to, cross the river here, and we are going west. We're going straight west. And there is a waypoint that is right here. There's a cave to our left. We're not going to enter that cave, not for a while. But what we want to do is get a fast travel waypoint, because we're not going to be back in this direction for a little bit. So if you stand on this circle and let it sink all the way down, that is going to give us the waypoint. Now at this point, the game will let us do a safety save. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. There we go. Also, at this point, the game will now let you change your control settings. So you can go to, whenever you push escape, you can go to settings, you go to input, shortcut, and input settings, all right? And I don't know if controllers can change their stuff, but I have a few things that are changed on mine. I just want to talk about it real quick. And that is, my middle mouse button is actually one of my left mouse buttons. It's just rebound through a program. So anytime you see middle click, I'm actually using my thumb on the leftmost part of my mouse. I rebound guard to alt, and that's mostly it. I did rebind a few other things, though. So looking through it here, we have aim as control, because I don't use the bow very much. And then force palm is V. All right. Let's see. What else did we change? Blinding flash. I made this a single button push because we use this a lot. There is no reason to have it be a multi-button push. All right. I also rebound flame to 5 because my 1 button will be my fast or quick use button here. Skill food quick slot is set to 1. But pretty much everything else is the same. I did have to rebind previous to K, but it's still Q and E for whatever reason. That's just how the game is. Alright, so once you've saved your game, it's actually faster to load your game than it is to go back to the quest guy. And the way this game works is whenever you save and load, it puts you at checkpoints. You can't just save right in a certain spot and then load and get back into that exact same spot. This is not a Bethesda game. The engine doesn't allow that. So, whenever we load, it's going to put us back to where we were on the quest. Alright, so we're now going to follow the gentleman up the path, and he's going to lead us to our horse. Alright, and once we get to the horse, we are actually going to ignore where he rides, and we are going to ride along this northern road about up here or so, and I'll show you where to go. Alright, so this is pretty simple. We're just going to ride straight north from like this little cross intersection. So we're going to go right here where the roads split. And on our right is this little tent area. We're going to ignore that. And then we're going to face north, and we're going to ride up this hill. It's not really a road, but the horse should be able to handle it. And you can hit jump, and you can just mash your shift bar, whatever your run button is if you're playing on console. And we're going to ride to the north. So what you're going to do now is use your blinding light ability and look for shimmering light. But you see there's like a hill up here. And so we're going to go to that hill. And we're going to climb up it using the horse. Maybe. You might have to dismount off the horse if you get into a peculiar position like I'm in. But generally, you just want to try to climb up using the horse. If not, that's fine. And what we're looking for is a fast travel point, so you can use your blinding light and look around. And you'll see, well, there's one right here. If you look and find this little stone structure, we're going to stand on the circle once again. And to show you kind of a more precise area of where this is, it's, again, here's that little crossroads, and we just go straight up, and you should be able to find it. Alright, after that, it is technically faster to save and load, but there's one other thing we need to get, and that is what I would consider the best in-slot helmet in the game when it's fully upgraded. This helmet that I'm about to show you how to get, it's fairly easy. It's something you can craft later if you want, but it gives us trust when dealing with NPCs. It also is 3 less defense than the best helmet, and it gives you days immunity. So it's the only helmet that gives you bonus trust. But if you face northeast, you're going to see a big rock quarry. All right? And so what we want to do is you're going to see a really big crane in the middle. We're going to run towards that crane. All right. And if you look below the giant crane to the right of it, there's like kind of like a smaller crane. What we're going to do is we're going to go to the right here where this smaller crane is, right in there. Okay? And in order to get there, you just, one of the faster ways is just climb down. And yeah, sometimes the walls crumble and stuff, which is just a random little detail. It's fine. Oh, jeez. I am just dead. April Fools, everybody. Alright, so take 2. And, yeah, that shouldn't happen after April 1st. That's just a funny little in-game, like, prank. But, oh, man. Alright, so the reason why we're going here now, I'm going to spoil it for you, is in Chapter 2, this area becomes hostile, and you have to not only kill a boss, but you have to kill hundreds of enemies to fix it and make it, you know, neutral again. Alright? But if you come here now in the prologue, it's not hostile yet. Alright, so there's the mini crane. This is the big crane. We're not concerned with the big one. We want the smaller one on the right side. And as we walk along, there is a ladder that will lead up to the control box of the crane. So we're just going to climb the ladder here. And this puzzle's real simple. We are going to just go into this little area and then use the controls. And for PC, it's A and D to move the top thing left and right. But what we're going to do is we're going to just move this crane slightly to the left like that. And then once it stops wobbling, we're going to lower it down. And we want it to get in between the block like that. And now we're going to lift it upwards. It's going to then latch like so. And then we're going to raise it up. It may take you a few tries, but it's pretty simple, and you just keep raising it until we unlock that little hole there. And then we will push escape to stop controlling it. Then we're just going to go in the hole. Yeah, there's a treasure chest in there. There we go. Alright. Go ahead and open the treasure chest. And then that gives us the rabbit leather mask. I know this thing looks ugly as hell, but we're going to go ahead and put this on. This thing, in my opinion, is the best in slot helmet in the game. Daze immunity, lightning resistance 1. It gives +2 trust gain to humans, not to animals. And when you level it up fully, it'll have 38 defense and 38 defense. The best plate helmets have 41 defense, and this is a leather one, so it's a lot easier and cheaper to upgrade. But the plus trust is really good. And the daze immunity, not all plate helmets have daze immunity, but this is a leather helmet that has daze immunity. Alright, so at this point, you can make another safety save and then load, or you can just jump off a high place so that you respawn back down here where the quest guy is. Alright, so now you're going to follow the quest guy to town, and that will wrap up the prologue. Yeah, there's still some other things that we will need to do, but we can do it later. We just wanted to make sure to nab this helmet and those waypoints while we're close to them, so we don't have to travel to them later. And again, once Chapter 2 starts, then you can't get this helmet without a whole ordeal of fighting. Alright, once you spawn in, we are simply going to run past this little area here, and we are going to go get another waypoint. So, we're going to curve around the pathway here, and again, if you use your blinding light, well, we can't see it yet. But we're curving along the castle walls here. And there it is. That is the waypoint. So we're going to stand on this waypoint like so. Very cool. And that will claim it. Now what we're going to do is we're going to fast travel back to this waypoint that we got by double clicking. By the way, open your map and make sure all is selected. And yes, I know it still says Prologue. I'll fix that in a sec. But go ahead and double click the waypoint, and that will let you teleport to the location. And if you're standing on the waypoint, when you teleport, the load time is way faster. Our first order of business is getting money. Right now we have no money, and there's a bunch of stuff we want to get and use money for. And early money will pay dividends later through investments. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down here. Just straight down where this road paths. And the thing is, this is a trade outpost, but because we're in Chapter 1, it doesn't have a use yet. So what that means is that all the stuff in this trade outpost is not labeled as being stealable. It's just lootable, okay? So you're going to go to this red tent, and don't worry about damage. You do heal over time. And another thing also about this specific outpost, you can reload your game or just fast travel over and over. And you can find specialty craftsmen here, like if I hold Alt, we have Stranger, Stranger. These are all just strangers. But sometimes there's huntsmen, there's mushroom farmers, there's a bunch of specialty guys here. And later I'll teach you a way to gift them special items so that you can receive a whole lot of rare items pretty much instantly. But what we're going to do now is we're going to go throughout all this stuff, and we're just going to loot everything. You're going to pick everything up and just stuff it in your bag. So the best way to loot in this game is to just hold down the loot button. So if I go over here, I'm just going to hold the E button, so I'm taking the silk, and you'll see it's pretty quick. You know, we just reach over and grab it. And again, we're going to just grab everything. And yeah, some of this is junk, some of this is not used until Chapter like 5 with the trade routes. But you're going to want to get this now, and we could store it and then use it later. Alright, but yeah, just grab absolutely everything that's not nailed down. Now, things like crates or boxes, I mean, you can just like throw these to the wayside, whatever. But yeah, just keep looting until either your inventory fills up or there's nothing left to loot. Also, don't forget to get like behind things. Like behind here, there is a cloth that you can yoink. So again, just grab everything that the game lets you loot. If you need to, like, you know, make it more personal, then you can zoom into first person mode, and that lets you kind of zero in on what you're grabbing. It makes things a lot easier to loot. So there we go. You can see these aren't lootable, but yeah, just run around and loot. So when your inventory fills up, walk far away from the camp. I like to kind of go just to this little crossroad here. And we're going to open our inventory, and we're going to throw everything down that's worth like 1 copper. Except, like, well, timber is a crafting material, so you don't want to throw that away. Light copper pouches, we're not going to open these. We're going to hold on to these because we can use them as gifts. Alright, but things like water pot, this sells for 1. Like, usually the things with the house icon are pretty cheap. So just, like, click all the things with the house icon, like 14 copper, who gives a shit. Right, so we're going to throw all of that kind of stuff on the ground. 2 copper there. Sells for 1 copper, throw that on the ground. But yeah, this one sells for 1 silver. So we don't want to throw that on the ground, despite it having the house icon. Magnifying glass is 6 copper. 2 copper there. Now, this is an iron adorned storage. This is 76 copper, but we can open this one. So it gets, you get a random item. I got a key, so that's fine, right? This is 2 copper. Again, just throw all your junk on the ground that is worth very little. Like some of these, like the pile of clothing, these are 3 copper each, but they stack up to 10, so that's 30 copper if we sell it. So that's 30 copper for 1 inventory slot. In that case, I would probably keep it. Now, these things with blue backgrounds that say unpackaged trade goods, we're going to keep all of those. Even though they may not sell for much, don't throw any of those away. Alright, once you've looted everything, you're going to make a safety save because we're going to trash the place up and we don't want to accidentally hit any of the random goobers that are standing around. And when we smash certain things, they will drop loot. So all you got to do is just do light attacks on these, you know, big piles of crates. So, there we go, and that's just gonna, yeah, some of it'll fall on you, it's fine. But you'll notice there's just, like, a lot of loot on the ground. And don't forget to bust all the bags open, too, because they can have food in them. And, yeah, just run around the destructed area here, holding your E button. So, again, we got an arrow, a spider, peas. And, yeah, sometimes there's insects. Potatoes, beans, you're gonna get a lot of random food items, which we'll put to use. But yeah, you just want to loot everything from these crates. Oh, also, random NPCs will start grabbing all the loot that you've dumped on the ground. It's actually really funny. Look at them. All right, and once you've looted everything, you'll have a whole bunch of different types of food, mushrooms, some random ingredients. The thing is you're not gonna have the same stuff that I'm gonna have. It's kind of randomly generated, but you're gonna have a whole bunch of these just unpackaged trade goods. You should have some random jars. Again, a lot of food items. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and fast travel back to town. That is your southernmost fast travel point. And we're going to store the trade goods. We're going to sell most of the other stuff. Maybe not the food. So to store our items, it's actually in that little camp that we spawned in on the chapter. The Free Sword Encampment. So just north. Remember, just backtrack the way we got to the waypoint. If you remember that, you're just going to run back along the little castle wall here. Or you can, you know, take the path down below. It doesn't really matter. But, yeah, just run back. And inside the tent is a chest, which we can store our goods. If for some reason you're playing on the unpatched version of the game, this chest will not store your goods. But we go in here, we have a little private storage. We can kick that open, and what we want to do is we want to store all of the trade goods. So go ahead and just put those in your box. If you hold shift and right click, you can just immediately put everything that you mouse over into storage. And I'm also going to put dyes into storage. Let's see, and I'm going to put all food items except sweet potatoes. If you got sweet potatoes, keep those, but everything else is going into the storage. Oh, and crafting materials, which would be like iron, you know, you got your hide, but any kind of like weapons, keys you keep out. I'm gonna put food in, everything except sweet potatoes, because we're gonna use those in a little bit. Timber, the things we're gonna sell, like this pile of clothing, these jars, we're gonna keep those out so we can go ahead and vendor them. Now, again, I recommend a safety save. All right, so next up, what we're gonna do is we're going to ring a bell in the town. So go to the tree right here. There is a tree. Just put your X near it and go to it. Now, if you look towards the north, and you'll see like a bell icon on your mini-map, and you'll see a bell tower. We're going to climb the bell tower, and then we're going to ring the bell at the top. So it's a little awkward to climb, but you can make your way up there. It's not too hard. And by ringing this bell, also there's a Palmer pill here we can go ahead and loot, so there we go. But when you ring this bell, it's going to reveal the entire area on our big map. Now, after doing that, we're going to open the map, and we're going to go down to right here. So this is where we're at on the map. This is the fast travel point southeast. There are 2 question marks. We're going to go ahead and over there, and that's a kind of like a back alley vendor that we're going to get a mask and some keys from. All right, and this is the NPC right here. We're going to just go ahead and open a shop.
No one needs to know we were
and we're going to go ahead and sell the piles of clothing. There we go. And the jars that we looted, because we don't need them for anything. Also, like, I found a Becker axe. We can sell that. We're not going to be using axes. And they gave us, we're at 5 silver. All right, so now we're going to go to buy. And we're going to buy the small bag. Go ahead and just buy that for 1 silver. That's fine. And then what that does is that gave us an inventory slot. And we're going to get a bunch of those. You can get up to like 240. It's pretty cool. We're going to buy all 3 keys. And we're going to buy the mask. The mask is what allows us to rob people. All right. And then after that, we'll come back later for Azurite. But we don't need it right now. There's no real reason to rush it. Also, I recommend that anytime you're at a vendor, you should just buy out their water. You can get water for free, but it's time consuming. It's just easier to buy it. And we're gonna be swimming in money anyway, so it's not a big deal. But what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go to, here's the tree. We're gonna go to this building and we're gonna loot it. So this building is actually a black market vendor, but because the black market doesn't exist yet in chapter 1, it's just an empty building with random lootables. So make sure that all doors are closed, and what you're going to do is you're going to go upstairs, and you're just going to grab everything that's not bolted down, and then throw all the trash in a corner. That's pretty much it. Oh, but to steal, you're going to open your inventory, okay, and then you're going to put on the mask by selecting it and then equipping it, and here's your mask slot. And then when you hold the Alt button, or whatever button you have for your lantern, and you look at something, you will have the option to steal. So you can see here, there's a box. We can steal it. There we go. And now, you'll notice that we have a crime theft thing in the top right corner. There's no one here to witness us, but what this means is that if we walk outside and someone looks at us, they'll know that we stole something. So, you can continue to steal in this building because no one's going to come in. But do not leave the building until that little thing in the corner goes away. Now, also note, besides just dumping the, low-value items on the ground in a corner, what you can do is simply just walk outside, and just down the road here south, if you just go down a bit here, hold on, sorry, my bad. You go west, and then you go hard south, and there's a grocery guy here that sells food items. And, well, he's a shop, so you can sell your junk to him.
What can I get for you?
So there we go. And you can sell things like magnifying glass, see you later, scales. And basically just sell all your junk. Also, you don't need any of the horse potions. We're going to get magic later that we can just punch our horse to full health. So there's no reason to keep that kind of stuff at all. Cooking oil is an ingredient used, obviously, in cooking, so we want to keep that. Horns are used for crafting, and so on. But while you're here, you can buy the small bag from him, and then, of course, all of his water. You want to, just grab all of his water. And if you didn't get any sweet potatoes, buy 3 sweet potatoes from him right now. But if you found sweet potatoes earlier, you don't need to buy them. We just need 3 of them, and nothing else. Now, once you picked this room clean, make a safety save, and then you're going to trash it and loot more stuff. Again, once you've smashed up the whole place and looted everything, feel free to go ahead and sell it. I did find this 2-handed weapons of the world. I wouldn't sell recipes if you happen to get one. I opened a box and this was in it. Again, the box loot is completely random, but just everything with a little house icon. Wine is actually a consumable, so we can keep that. And again, like any kind of trade good, we're going to store that for later in the game. But yeah, it's just early money. Oh, and while we're running around town, make sure you take your mask off because some characters will interact with you negatively if you have the mask on. It's rare in the first town, but later in the game, you might just get straight up attacked if you have it on. So just kind of get into a habit now of taking it off when you're not robbing things. But we're going to go ahead and then store all the, the food and stuff that we looted back into the chest. There we go. All right, once everything is stored, we're going to rob the Lioncrest Manor now. So that is directly west of where we are at. So just go west until you're at the very front door. All right, so once you're at the front door, we are just going to go to the right side here. And the guards don't mind if you just climb the wall. Now, if you try to walk in the front door, they won't let you in. Also, my character is stuck and losing stamina. So let's try that again. But you're just going to walk up to the window, open it, and then you are going to get right under it and use the climb over button to get inside. And the people inside won't care that you're in here, but you're going to drop down to the main floor. And you want to make sure that you're crouched and no one is in here. Like this character just walked through the door. All right, and so we're going to let him go in there, and we're going to go ahead and put on a mask. And you have to be pretty quick with this, so we're going to go ahead and equip the mask. And at this fireplace, you're going to use the steel option, and that gives you a gold bar. So there we go, we just got a gold bar. Now, immediately upon stealing that, because there's lots of foot traffic in this house, just teleport back to the Nexus. And you can see that guy there, he was walking towards us. And again, if someone sees you do a crime, well, then you're just auto-guilty. But if we fast travel, it like deletes the timer. So there we go. We just got away with stealing a gold bar. And this thing's worth 500 silver, by the way. We're going to take that mask back off. But we're not done looting the manor. We're going to go back. And again, we're going to get back in there the exact same way we did before, through the window. Once you've climbed through the window, go through the very first door on your right, and you're going to loot everything in this room. I have already done so. Now, at the end of the room, in this cabinet, there is a puzzle, and you have to rotate the squares to make the picture. And so, let me show you. This is what the picture looks like. It's like a fairy or a woman with fairy wings. I don't know how to describe it other than that. I'm trying to get it trying to get it on the camera for you on the screen here. But yeah, that's what it looks like. So just rotate the squares until you match the picture, and then inside is your best in slot earrings for the whole game. That's right, the gold engraved earrings. And they're not much at level 1, but these will give you movement speed 4. I think defense 6, I forget, and regeneration, again, I forget the stats, but it's best in slot. There's another earring we don't get until later in the game, which is it's either part of the story or you buy it from a witch. I think you buy it from a witch, but you can go ahead and put those on if you want, and they don't do much right now, but when we upgrade these, they will do way more later. Also, be aware when you are stealing from cabinets, every single drawer must be looted. This cabinet has a drawer in the top, in the middle, and the bottom, so open all 3, loot everything inside. Oh, and if there's people in here, then you can just sleep on the bed, or you can just load your game, run back here until there's no one here. But just be aware that people might enter the room, and if you're caught, just load game. There's no reason to take a penalty or anything right now. Alright, so right here is the window we entered from. This first door on the right is where we got the earring. We're going to run around the top balcony here, and you should have keys on you. And you'll use a key to open this door. You'll have to hold the E button or whatever it is on controller. And inside here, make sure there's no one around to see us. But we're going to go ahead and open the treasure chest there. And inside is the large shield. Now, this shield is... I think they changed the name. This used to be Gilded Large Shield, but I don't know. Anyway, we just mainly got this shield for money because it's a large shield, so it doesn't let us disarm, and it's not the best in-game shield. Large gilded shield is. But you can go ahead and yoink everything in this room. I wouldn't destroy stuff, but I would go ahead and just yoink everything not bolted down. Alright, once you've robbed that room, go down to the bottom floor now, and remember the fireplace with the gold bar. We're going to go down this hallway, and we're going to take the first door on the right here, and there is some stuff in here that's pretty good, but the guards do tend to rotate, and we have a person sleeping, so it's a little bit risky to loot this one. You can always come back later, whenever this person isn't in the room. It's nighttime right now, so if you come back during the day, they're not going to be in the bed. But what that's going to give us right now is a temporary glove upgrade called the Brass Warden's Plate Glove. We're not going to use this throughout the game. This is just kind of our lumber chopping glove. You can go ahead and put it on if you want. It's better than our starter glove for sure, but it's not something we're going to be upgrading. Anyway, once you're back at the main lobby, the big house is mostly looted. You're going to walk outside. The guards will grab you and throw you. Sometimes, because I sprinted, they're not. But if you're looking back at the front door, which is kind of north-northwest on your compass, then you turn to the left, there is another building nearby, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to be climbing in through a window, and we'll be on that second floor. And once you're inside, you're going to find the door that requires again, it says it needs a key. Just use the key you bought from the black market guy. That should be your second key. In this glowing chest, and also make sure there's no one in here. There never is, but you never know. This chest contains a sword called the Huando. Now, the two-handed swords are not good in this game for DPS, but this sword in particular, it has a stamina siphon, crit rate, and attack 1. We're going to extract these later in the game from this sword, and then we will sell the sword. We don't need the Huando at all. Also, if you're lacking inventory space, make sure that you're opening all of these boxes, and that should consolidate some space. If you have anything that's worth, like 1 copper, like I have milk, well, that's an ingredient. But anything that's just very low value, like these pile of clothing, you can throw them in a corner. Once you've robbed this building, then we're going to now go to this building right here. This is right above the tree, and this is the bank. Alright, so once you're inside the bank, then you're going to go to, this is the main entrance right here. And as soon as you go in, take the left door here. You're gonna use a key, that's fine. Wait for the door to shut. Also, make sure you do a safety save. And now we're gonna loot this room. And you may be low on space in your inventory. So make sure you're dropping your junk. And if you really need to, you can consume some of the pouches, but you really want to keep like light copper pouch. That's not a lot of money, whereas modest silver pouch is a lot of money, right? So you can go ahead and open like the modest ones easily, right? Modest copper pouch, why not? And yes, you can open all these at once. You don't have to open them one at a time, but just free up as much inventory space as you can, because there's a lot of lock boxes and jars in here. Oh, by the way, you can randomly get, the loot you get is random, but I got an engraved silver necklace. This is actually best in slot. You can buy this from a witch after, chapter 8 in the swamp marsh, but since I found it, I'm going to go ahead and put that sucker on. Also, if you encounter this bug where the chest, lid won't let you loot the other chest, you can actually do your light shine on it and burn the chest, and then that will drop the loot inside of it. Or you can smash it with your sword. It's whatever you want to do. And then as your inventory fills up, make sure that you're opening all of the boxes here and just getting the money or items out of them. Alright, once you've looted this room, you're going to leave. Make sure that, you're not wanted or anything. You're going to go upstairs. And, yeah, they got some guards here, but that's okay. They're pretty blind.
What?
Anyway, it's not letting me cross over, but yeah, there's a, come on, just jump to it. There's a guard here guarding this door to the outside, but there's more lock boxes over here. And again, this guard, he's just stupid blind, so make sure you make a safety save. But now you can loot all of these boxes. You can also loot the drawers too, and yeah, that should put us at a good amount of money. And yes, even this shelf very close to the guard, and look, he's directly staring at me. It's like, steal. 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 And he's just looking over like, bro, I don't get paid enough for this crap. Alright, now once you've stolen all of that stuff, we have a lot of things to sell and stash. So we're going to go ahead and fast travel back to town now. Alright, so we're going to sell all the stuff that we've been robbing back to a shopkeeper. But do not sell your gold bar. Alright, so now you're going to head back to the bank, and we're going to open an account with them and deposit that gold bar. So here's how to do the bank. We're going to talk to the banker here. And then we're going to Strongbox registration. This costs 100 silver, okay, which we should have. I have 129, and if you have less, well, there's a few other ways to make money, but if you looted everything that I told you to, you should have more than enough. Now, it's going to ask you what strategy do you want to invest it in. So here's the thing. You can change the investment strategy right before the tick. So to be safe, in case you forget, you're going to put it at low risk, and you'll see that, well, we can't change it for 2 days, 23 hours. We're going to have the first tick apply in 1 day, 6 hours. But generally, after this tick, then what you do is if you come to the bank before it gets applied, you can set it, you can save, and then set it to high risk. And then if you make a bunch of money, well, then you can save your game. If you lose money, you can load your game and just keep doing it until you get money. But there's no reason to do that. There's a lot of other easier ways to make money in this game, and you don't need a lot of money early anyway, and by the time you need money, there's an easy way to farm it. So this is just passive easy mode money, and then we're going to deposit a gold bar. There we go. Alright, and then this is just going to make money forever. Guaranteed. Alright, so yeah, we can come back here. If you ever need money for something specific, then you can come to any bank. They're all linked. And you can withdraw some money, and by the time you're going to need money, this 500 will be like 700 to 1,000. But again, we will have way better ways of making money anyway by then. And later, we're going to be doing a whole lot of grinding, and we're going to be disarming a whole bunch of enemies and yoinking all of their gear, and it's gonna make us a ton of money anyway. All right, now that that's out of the way, we're going to go ahead and get a pet that's going to loot stuff for us. And so you're going to go ahead and fast travel to the Abyss Nexus, and, well, I don't need to fast travel to it because I'm right next to it. So I'm going to show you where to find the pet and how to earn or get the pet. So first off, let's go back to our little teleporter so I can show you where to go from there. So here is the fast travel point, which you would travel to, whatever. And then your character will be facing like this. Your character will be facing south. You're going to go to the right, and right where this building is, and right in this corner, there will be a dog. There are 4 different dogs that spawn here. 3 of them are called Jindo. 1 of them is called White Dog. To figure out which dog spawned, you're going to pet the dog. So let's go ahead and pet the dog. And then once we're done petting it, it'll give us its name or type, and that is a Jindo. So there is a white, brown, and black Jindo. And if you want to cycle between the dogs, you just teleport to the Abyss Nexus. That'll reload the map, and then you can check the dogs. So the fastest way to do it, by the way, is to stand on the teleporter. So if you stand on the teleporter and then you teleport, you get a small black screen, and then boom, new map. So you will simply just do that over and over and over. This time there's a black Jindo. Look at that. Isn't that cool? So whatever color you prefer. Now, if it says white dog, this trick does not work. But what we're going to do is we're going to pet the Jindo, and we're going to feed him 3 sweet potatoes. And that's going to allow us to convert it to a pet that will loot things for us when we fight enemies and when we go gathering. So what you need to do, and also, if there's people around, this makes it a little more difficult because they can steal your potatoes. So make sure that you do a safety save. But what you're going to do is you're going to pet the dog 3 times, and it has, every time you refresh, it's a new dog with a new trust meter, and the goal is to get the trust to 100. Okay, so there we go. We've pet the dog 3 times, and what I'm going to do is walk a few steps away, and I'm going to drop 3 sweet potatoes. So there we go. Now, if you don't have sweet potatoes, that grocer guy that we've been selling items to, just go to him. He sells sweet potatoes. Buy some, and then what we're going to do now is we're going to watch the doggo, and he's going to eat the potatoes. It takes a little bit. They don't eat it instantly, unfortunately, so there we go. That's a plus 35 trust, and yeah, so you can see here that, you know, we just wait for the dog to get to 100 trust. No need to, like, feed it meat or bones or any of that stuff. And the dog pets are less distracted than the cat pets, so they make better companions for looting items. There we go. 100 trust. So what we can do is hold E to take it in, and then we will pet it one last time, banishing it to the netherworld. Now, when you push escape and you go to inventory, you will now have cliff and then pets. So you can click pets, and you can click Jindo, and you can summon or unsummon it if you want. I just leave it summoned, and it'll run around and pick stuff up for you. So that's pretty neat. And yeah, that's how to get a pet that's going to loot stuff for us. It's pretty pivotal to get this. It's really nice when you chop trees or mine ores without the advanced tools, because the new patch, the advanced tools will auto-loot things for you. But when you kill bandits, or when you disarm bandits, when you knock their sword and shield or bow out of their hands, the dog will run over and loot it for you. And so it's really, really useful. Our next step or challenge is getting inventory slots. So what we're going to do now is we are going to go to each shopkeeper in town. All of these little question marks are a shopkeeper just about. And they all sell 1 bag slot. So just go to each one. You have enough money, buy each bag. While you're at the provisioner's shop, go ahead and buy both of his empty bottles. We need these for potions for later, but they're not important right now. But go ahead and buy them because it takes a whole week for these shopkeepers to restock their items. Well, you're at the tannery, buy all the hides. Now, we're going to be farming a lot of these ourselves, but it's just, you're going to need hundreds of these, so you might as well buy them. Also, while you're at the butcher, go ahead and listen to her request. In front of an important guest. Which I guess it won't let me play it unless I'm in front of the table, whatever. And this is just a cooking quest. So for this quest, there is a cooking pot right within the vicinity. There's the butcher, there's the cooking pot, and she gives us the ingredients to cook it. So all we have to do is make, like, fish porridge, which I didn't read the recipe. So the game wants to teach you how to read recipes, but you go to your inventory, okay, and you find the crafting manual, then you examine it. It's a whole process. Then you gotta hold the, for me it's Alt key, and then we read the recipe. Now our character knows the recipe. Cool. So now we go back to the cooking pot, and we just need to cook 3 of these. Don't make the special ones. So there we go. We have fish porridge. You don't want to make filling, satisfying, or hearty. Just make the regular one. All right, there we go. And then we just want 3. And then when we cook it, we can turn that quest in immediately to the person who will give us more inventory space as a reward. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. So we just return to her now, and then we hand it over. And that's it. While you're at the inn, you can go ahead and buy all the water, because it just saves you so much time to just buy water than manually farm it. Alright, with all of that done, we're going to go ahead and do some main story questing here so we can get more inventory space, and so you just follow what the game tells you to do. Right now it wants us to go to the inn and do some arm wrestling. Yeah, there's some side quests we can also do for inventory space. We'll do that later. But right now we're going to go in here, talk to this bub on the table, and challenge him to a test of strength. If you're having trouble on mouse and keyboard doing this, use your right hand, put your finger on E and your other finger on R. I'm just doing my best, bro. But yeah, it's an easy challenge. If you're a gamer, you can mash buttons. Come on now. Afterwards, go outside and humble the bum, which is not really a beggar, but some sort of ancient sky god. Yep, spoilers, woo! Afterwards, what the bum was laying on was a trapdoor. You're gonna go inside the dungeon. Oh, spooky. As you make your way through the sewer, instead of going to where the woman is tied up in front of you, turn to your left, and all the way down here there's a treasure box, but it's nothing good. Let's go ahead and pop that sucker open. Oh boy, sewer loot. Oh, the Grace Plate Helm. So we're just selling this. This is 50 copper. I'm pointing it out because in my last video, people were like, "You missed a treasure chest. You missed it. You missed it." Mwah. And I'm like, "Yeah, because it's garbage. It's literal garbage." Anyway, run through the jump puzzle, and you can swim in the water. It's poopy, nasty water. It doesn't matter. The game doesn't have like a system where your character smells bad. Your character just smells bad by default. But yeah, go ahead and untie the fake noble lady. She's fake, by the way. Before you go back to the surface world, don't forget to take the iron adorned storage, and then there is a jewel box. And these items just have random looties. So, like, whenever you use it from the inventory, this time I got 92 copper. And this one could give you a random item. I got Epidote, which is actually really good. We need this for item upgrades later in the game. So that was a nice little prize there. But anytime you see those items, just pop them open. Alright, now the game wants us to speak with children, and this just teaches you how to climb a building and rescue pets or talk to pets or whatever. Pretty basic stuff. So, climb the building, there's a black cat on the top, just hold the E button and run at it, and then you'll yoink it. There you go. Oh boy, we caught the cat. I wish cats would, you know, be nice in real life, but no, when you pick them up, they get all butthurt. That's just how they are. Alright, sometimes at this point the game does bug out a bit and your quest stops tracking. Here's how to fix that. Alright, so you go to Journal, Main Quest, click the one that has that's not completed, and then click the quest that you need. It'll put an X next to it. And what this will do is this will tell you or show you on the mini-map where to go. So we need to go down here and help a villager. So, I didn't catch it, but one of the ladies, this lady here, she says, "Will you stop blarding?" Paul Blart much? Anyway, we're gonna, you know, talk to him and do the quest. Alright, so here's how you do this quest. You're gonna have to, well, for me it's F2, but whatever your inventory is, equip the broom. And yes, you will use a broom later in the game for another quest where you clean some solar panels. So you can keep it in your inventory, you can put it in storage after this, it's fine. Now, this hole in the roof is not the chimney, okay? The chimney is up here, and yes, you do have to vault into it, so just climb the chimney. And then you have to hold, for me it's the Alt button, and then push left click, and that cleans it. Now, before we do anything else, behind the house, if you didn't catch it, there's a couple polymer pills, and they're right here up on this box. Well, I guess there's just the one. There used to be, I swear there used to be two, but whatever. Anyway, yoink the polymer pill, and now the game wants us to examine the key we got from the bum. So, push escape, click the key, push your use button. Now, you have to be standing still, so make sure that Cliff isn't slowly stepping forward like he tends to do. And then when you stare at the key, your schizophrenia turns it into a magical object. Oh boy. Look at that. Alright, so instead of doing the main story quest right now, which wants us to go to Hernan Castle, we're going to go back to the inn, you know where that's at, and we're going to do some arm wrestling. And what you're going to do is you're going to win 4 arm wrestling matches in a row without stopping. And this will give us a skill point. Alright, so open your inventory, and we're making our way to the castle, and you're going to put on the Hernand outfit here, the Hernandian attire. Just go ahead and equip that, it's fine. We'll put our regular armor back on later, and then make your way to the town gate. Now, normally, in earlier patches, you could just climb the wall, and the guards would ignore you, but now they'll attack you. So you kind of have to do this cutscene bullcrap. Once you've cleared the gate, you just run up the side here, and this little building is the commission shop. I forget the name exactly, but we don't need any gear from that ever. The gear actually sucks. It's purely cosmetic anyway, and then hit up another gate. They'll do another butt sniff test. Alright, and once they deem your figure worthy of entering the castle, just follow where I'm going. We just kind of wrap around this way into the castle itself. There we are, and then we are going to go up the stairs. That's to the right. There we go. And then we enter this room, and you'll notice there's a girl that's like, "This door's always locked." And then you're going to enter that door, and you do need a key to get in here, okay? But you should have a key already. And, yeah, so inside there is obviously a glowing treasure chest. Oh boy, right? Now, that is a Fated Abyss artifact that lets you respec, but you don't want to go through the Abyss gate yet, because look, there's a bunch of shiny stuff all in the door, all on the shelves here. So you know the drill. You're going to put on your mask, and you're going to make a safety save, and then loot the place clean. Once you've looted the room, go ahead and open all of the storage boxes. You'll get some random rings, amulets, copper, just keys, just all sorts of stuff. Alright, now that the room is looted, we can enter the Abyss Gate, and yeah. Unfortunately, it's a one-way door, so we can't just go back to the castle through this way. So this part of the game is going to teach you about fast travel, but we already know about it because you're watching a video. So stand on this, let it sink down, and then there you go. Now we can To fast travel to this at any time, you have to, well, for mouse and keyboard, you would middle click your map, and then that's how you get up here. And later, we'll use this to kind of fast travel around and drop down, kind of Fortnite style, on parts of the world. Alright, so here's the solution to this puzzle. And let me go ahead and, is the game going to let me let go? Probably not. So you're going to encounter a lot of puzzles like this in the future, so let me explain the methodology. If you use your shining bright blade skill, you can kind of see where power is routed. You'll see there's a big power cord here with blue energy feeding into this dial. And there are blue lines here, and we need to make the blue lines connect to this one and then feed out through this power core or power line. You can also use your whenever you don't have your weapon drawn, you can use your lantern and also see the power flow of these things. So you're going to use your Axiom Force, which is a really dumb name. Don't grab the middle of these wheels, grab the edges, so it lets you kind of swing them around a little bit better, like this. It's still awkward as hell to do. But, yeah, you're just going to twist these dials so that the colored lines all match up to the power lines. And it's really awkward on mouse and keyboard. But what can you do? As long as you're grabbing the edge, it's not as bad. Also, you'll see how it did a little shimmer there. That's usually like a kind of a tell that, hey, you got it in the right spot. So now we just need to swing this one this way. And, yeah, it's a pain in the butt. But there we go. Now the powers are intersecting, it's going through the cord, and that solves the puzzle. By the way, the game is a little bit troll here. It wants you to pass through this gate and continue with the puzzle, but we're going to turn back, and then we're going to turn to the right, where we spawned in, because there is a skill point to collect. Every time you complete one of these little puzzle areas, you get a skill point. That's kind of like the reward for doing the puzzles. But the game is rather troll about it. And so, yeah, we're going to run back. Again, this is on the northwestern part of this floating island. And it's a little hard to see from here, but you see that floating square thing? That is our reward. And then we absorb it. There we go. Now we have a skill point. Now you can turn around and go back to where the game wants us to go. So this puzzle, supposedly a patch made it simpler because people were rage quitting on this part. But you just use your Axiom Force on the circle in the middle. And then you just push your A or D key or whatever it is on your controller until the lights light up like so. And then you hold it for a bit, and then that will activate the next zone. Now, depending on how soon you get to this point, you have to wait for this platform to float over to you. Don't think that you're stuck and there's a puzzle to solve. Just be patient, it'll float over, and then it'll float us up here to the next part. Alright, so this was the big first puzzle that a lot of people quit on, and it's really simple. If you see... You look on the left, there's a floating square on this little pedestal, and there's a pedestal over here that's being lit up by light, and there's a floating square next to it. Grab the floating square with your Axiom Force, move it over to the pedestal until it, like, absorbs. We need to pull it towards us, though. There we go. See how it's kind of breaking up, and then we're just going to release it when it's right on top there. There we go, and that powers the bottom here. Cool, cool, right? Now we're going to do something similar down here. We're going to take this little, I don't know, CPU chip thingy, and we're going to push it against the wall here. And then we're going to release it, and you'll see a guy punching it. So we have to observe this ghost punching things. Now we've learned Force Palm, and then we just punch the chip into place, which, there we go. It looks like it worked. Okay, cool. There we go, and then that powers this little thing here. It's going to activate, and then the camera shows a big button on a wall. The game is telling you, hey, maybe you should punch the button on the wall, right? So you climb out of here, which is pretty simple, and then what you're going to do is you're going to climb up to the button, and you're going to punch it. So many people refunded because of this puzzle. Now, if you punch the wall, I'm gonna show you what happens if you just punch it right now, right? We're gonna punch it. The force of the punch pushes us backwards, okay? Generally, you don't want to do that, and there's a way for that not to happen, so I'm gonna demonstrate now. But yeah, the button activates, it completes the island puzzle. Ta-da, you did it, bro. But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna show you now how to properly punch buttons on walls, because that was the wrong way to do it. Yes, it is the wrong way. So... also, we got a skill point for that, by the way. And, well, there's a cutscene now, but I'll show you after the cutscene. So what you want to do when you have another puzzle like this in the future and you're ready to punch the button on the wall, what you want to do is hold the resist button. For me, that's control, and your character will brace. And then you punch it, and then what will happen is your character is holding onto the wall, and he won't go flying off of it. So there you go. That is how to do that. All right. Then we're going to talk to the lady, and she's going to convince us to jump off the tall place. All right. So we just jumped off the battle bus, and you want to go towards Hernand, the Hernand area, right? So you could glide there if you want, and the game explains how to fly, whatever. But yeah, or you can just fast fall down, and then you can just fast travel. A lot of players at this point in the game without a guide won't have the fast travel to Hernand, so they have to like manually go there. But yeah, we're just gonna land. There we go, and make sure you push your flight button before you crash down, or you'll face splat and die. Not that dying has any consequence in this game, really. But yeah, now the game wants us to return to Hernand. There we go. And that's chapter 1. It's over. Oh boy. On to chapter 2. So, my chapter started with this guy's chest in front of the camera. I thought this was so funny. I just had to share it with you guys. He's just flexing. Alright, so 2 things we're going to work on in chapter 2 is skill points and inventory. We don't want to push the main story quest right now. It wants us to go clear bandits, which, for a brand new player, will prove mildly difficult. And, well, at least on the earlier patched version it will. But what we're going to do now is a couple side quests instead. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over to the equipment shop, which you'll see these little random, like, glowing clouds. We're just going to accept all the quests. So if you see on my minimap, there's a quest here with, like, if I hold, the blinding flash of light, you can see an exclamation point above someone's head. Or you can use put your weapon away, use the lantern, and that will also show. And yeah, we're just going to go around town and get some quests. So this one, we're going to talk to him and get the quest. But anyway, here is the inn, and to the right of the inn, there is, this is, I believe, Rhett. This is the blacksmith, or he, like, no, he's not the blacksmith. He's, like, I don't know, a sales guy. We're going to push E to listen to his request, and this is going to give us a quest to go mining. And he'll give us a pickaxe to do just that. Now, right behind him in the building, there is the blacksmith. I forget his name. But we're going to go ahead and listen to his request as well. And he gives us a logging axe. So, yeah, we're going to have to do a little bit of gathering, and that's just how it is. Not a big deal. We got the dog to loot it anyway. Now, to get these 2 quests done a lot faster, we're going to go straight south, and you'll see, like, a road that kind of curves southwest like this. We're going to start here at this little triangle, and we're going to work our way west along the road, but we're not going to be on the road. We're going to be on the bottom of the cliff of the road. And you want to make a safety save before you do this so your trees don't accidentally tumble on people and crush them, because that makes you a murderer for some reason. But anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to chop trees, and I'm going to show you the proper or faster way to chop a tree. The quickest way to chop a tree is you're going to force palm the first hit. That's going to make it fall over, just like that. And then you can also force palm it again, which, or you can also do a turning slash, which is your left and right click or L1, R1 button. And that's going to put it into chunks. Now, when it's in chunks, this is when you need to use your lumber axe, your logging axe. And then you're going to aim at the chunk, and then you're going to use the slam attack. And what that will do is give you fine timber. If you chop it with any other method, you only get regular timber. Also, the dog is supposed to loot this, but you can loot it too if you're just paranoid. But you're going to be chopping a lot of trees, all right? So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of split these real quick, and hopefully the dog does his job. There we go. The dog looted the fine timber. And sometimes the dog's a little slow, but it's fine. Alright. But yeah, as you chop trees, and it doesn't matter if they're big or small, they pretty much give 3 chunks regardless. You're going to go mining as well. So along the cliff facing here, there will be just minerals. And it's a similar thing. You're going to not do that. You're going to equip the pickaxe. And you're going to use your alt key. Now, when you're using your alt key, you'll notice, see how I have like a red circle? That means there's nothing to mine. If I hover over something and the circle turns blue, that means I can mine it for resources. So, there we go. And, yeah, normally the copper ore goes kind of flying, but you can see I can mine this. Alright, cool. And we're going to be mining copper, iron, azurite, everything that you can possibly find. You want to mine all of this. And supposedly it does respawn after 1 week of in-game time, but I'm not too sure on that. So while you're doing this, you will have a bird land on your shoulder. It's the witch, you know, from earlier. I believe you have to stow your weapon to loot it. But yeah, push R to take. And then that gives you a White Crow's letter. Remember, again, that's the witch that told us to jump off the tall place. And then you go to your inventory and click use. And again, it's just an in-game tutorial, but it's gonna bug you in your inventory until you do it. We already know how to do fast travel, but there you go. Also, while you're out down here chopping trees, if you see white rocks like this is stone. So you can go ahead and mine this too. We don't need this for the quest or anything, but you will need this for your camp later. And you'll notice like this stone doesn't turn blue, so we can't mine that or that one. But anytime you see like a big stone like this, just kind of hover around it with your pickaxe, and you can sometimes mine some of it, sometimes you can't. But just a little tip for you. Now, if you're having trouble force palming the trees because they're thin or your aim is off, you can get near a tree, jump, and force palm the ground, and that will also work. And then you can do it you can do it twice in a row, like that, and then that will knock the tree down instantly. Now, however, if a tree falls too far from height, it will break and only give you a regular timber. So we want a lot of fine timber. We're gonna need so much of this for upgrades. Also, if the tree is rolling, then you're gonna miss your swing. So you might have to wait until it stops. Alright, so that's 2 failed attempts now, right? Here we go. 3rd time's the charm. Okay, never mind. Right? Stop rolling. Yeah, it can be a pain in the butt, but again, you might as well get it knocked out now rather than later. Alright, so what I've done is I've went and from here I've mined a bunch of different nodes all the way down to this little river here. You can see my inventory. I have about 27 fine timber, 32 timber. We have 8 iron ore, 16 copper ore, which isn't really enough ore, but it's enough for the quest. That's all that really matters for now. But while we're down in this area, you're going to notice a communal training grounds. And make sure you come here during the day. It's 2:46 p.m. in-game time. We're going to stow our pickaxe and just kind of run over. And you'll notice people training on things. So we're going to walk up to each person training here and see if we can observe them and learn a skill. So nothing from the kicking tornado kick guy. Other characters you unlock later can learn tornado kick, but our Cliff character can't. So we're going to absorb this sword guy. So we're going to hold Alt, and we're learning what he's doing. He's learning proficiency. So now we can now do our / twice, which is really good. Alright, we're also absorbing the Karate Kid here, and now we have proficiency for unarmed combat, which we won't really use. There is an unarmed contest later you can use it for, but we're not going to use it right now. And we'll look at this guy.
Light upon you.
Not much, so we learned 2 skills here. Also, at the communal training grounds, it's very important that you know this. And this does not work if you are playing on the unpatched version of the game. There is a water well, and if you hold the hand wheel, and this, again, this takes time, but if you crank it all the way down until it clicks, there you go, and then you wheel it back up, and I don't think you have to wait till it clicks, just submerge it underwater, and then, you know, do that. You can now loot the water bucket and get 5 water for every time that you do this. So if you want to sit here for a bit and farm water, you can. You need a lot of water to craft things in this game. I recommend you get like at least 20 or 50 even. So from the communal training grounds, we're going to go down here to these little vendors and buy out their stock. By the way, on the way you might see some red dots, you might not. These are just random bandits in the area, and this is just a little pack of 3. And so what I recommend that you do, and this is how you should do the fights, okay? For bandits, we want their early equipment, alright? So hold block, wait for them to hit your shield, and then right-click, and that disarms them, okay? If you right-click them without them hitting your shield, then it doesn't disarm them. So make sure that they land a hit first. There we go. And that's a Sidman sword. That's the sword that we want. That's our best in slot sword, believe it or not. Now, again, this guy with the axe, it's whatever. So you can use left-click and single target kill goons like that. If they don't have their weapon out, that's fine. So we'll go ahead and kill this one now. And this one we want his axe. So we're going to let him hit us, and then right-click. That's going to fling the axe out of his hand. The dog will loot the axe for us, and then we'll just finish off the bandit. Now, what you want to do is look at your mini-map, and you'll see white X's on the ground. That is bandit corpses, and you want to loot them as well, because they're full of stuff. It's random. Like, I got a poison arrow, right? Cool. Alright, cool. And anyway, in the distance, we don't see red X's, but we see more bandits. Now, early on, this might be an overwhelming amount of bandits for you, so you can fight them if you want, but you don't need to. But we're going to make our way to this little camp here. For me, I'm going to go ahead and fight them because I've been playing for a while, but we don't really have a lot of skills unlocked. But we're gonna do the same thing. We're just gonna hold block, let them swing on us. Once they hit the shield, we right click and there goes their weapons. And then again, we're just gonna hold left click and, you know, take them out. There we go. Once they're unarmed, they're of no use to us. All right, so I didn't let that one hit my shield. All right. Nope, still messed up. There we go. See you later. All right. Also, if you wait too long after they swing, it won't disarm them. But yeah. You can just sit here and basically disarm all of them, and they can still hurt you pretty bad when they punch you. Alright, also we need to get their bows. The bows are a little bit trickier to get. Now if there's a bunch of people in front of you with no weapons, you can do a turning slash, and that's going to, you know, take them out a little bit faster. And if you die, again, there's no punishment for death. For the bow guys, get right up in their face. Okay, he pulled out a sword, and I didn't parry correctly. Alright, go ahead and let them swing. There we go. Sometimes it takes them a bit. There we go. And see you later. That's my sword now. Yeah, for the bow guys, you got to be right in their face when they shoot at you. And it can be a little tricky when there's a bunch of them. Because they like to run around. Again, they won't just constantly attack. But there we go. We disarmed his bow. And we want Becker bow. That's a Sidman bow. We want Becker bow. Also, my inventory is now full. So you might need to manage your inventory so that your doggo is looting all the weapons. And currently, the enemies don't pick their weapons back up. I'm sure that'll be patched in the future, though. So be aware, sometimes the pet gets unsummoned in combat. Just open your menu and then resummon it so it can continue looting for you. There we go. I've taken out all the bandits. I'm waiting for this guy to shoot me so I can steal his bow. And we want to steal a lot of Becker bows and Sidman swords. That's why we're targeting these guys with the red clothing specifically. And even though we're not using Sidman bow, we still want to loot it because it can sell for a good amount. So, again, just manage your inventory, throw out crap that you don't need, like this 50 copper helmet, whoop-de-doo. Go to the Sidman bow, which clearly sells for more. Alright. Also, again, the dog's going to be looting the dead corpses too, so you just really have to do a lot of management here. Alright, so right down here, this is the Golden Fist Arena. And because we have that melee proficiency, we can actually do this here. And it's pretty simple, but right now we're going to go to this little street vendor here that's kind of in the corner. And we're going to sell all that stuff that we've looted earlier. And we're going to sell all the weapons that we got from bandits, all their clothing, except for Sidman sword. Let me see if... I'm sure I looted one. Yeah. We want to keep Sidman swords. Never sell these. We're going to be using these for upgrades. And Becker bows. Keep all your Becker bows, but sell everything else. And again, we had a loot spree earlier with a bunch of like random stuff like empty books and, you know, random jars. So just clean up your inventory. Now, this guy has iron ore and some random food. So we're going to buy out the iron ore. I'm going to obviously buy out the water. And yeah, that's pretty much it from this dude. Now, what I recommend you do is make a safety save and then fight in the unarmed duel. And when it says you must be unarmed, what you do is you go over to your pickaxe slot and you select ordinary gloves. And then that will let you play. And all you're going to do is just hold left click or hold right click on the enemies. And you want to win 4 in a row to get a skill point. Now, I did 4, and I didn't beat the champion, so until you do that, you don't get the skill point. I'm not sure why it didn't work, so you can keep doing it until the champion challenges you, I suppose. I don't know, in my first playthrough, I was able to beat the champion right away, but I guess we have to go to a different arena to do it this time. I don't know what changed, but no skill point, but hey, you make some silver, I guess. Alright, so now what you're going to do is open your quest log, go to journal, go to Faction Quest, go to House Roberts, go to First Trial of Trust, and then click that. That will mark your map to go right up here to the Muckroot Ranch, and then we're going to get that quest chain going. Then you talk with the man sitting on the bench and wait for the story to unfold. Now, it wants us to go to the Cask House and beat up these bleed bandits, but we're not going to do that. We're going to go down here to this question mark in the bottom right instead. Now, there's nothing to do here. This is just the dye guy. So if you ever want to change the color of, say, like your helmet or whatever, well, you can talk to him, and then you can dye your helmet, for instance. Like, well, we don't have any dye. And he sells a dark red if you want to, but this is how you would customize your character. I know some of you are curious about that kind of stuff. Alright, then we're going to be proceeding down to this little area right down here. And this is where we turn in, I believe, Rhett's request. We talked to this big boy here. This is Rhett's assistant. We're going to hand over the stuff that we mined. Not all of it, just what the quest, you know, required. And that completes that quest. And then after that, we're going to go right around to this person here at the table with the question mark. And no, we don't. We want to open the shop. There we go. We're doing this not because she has anything worth selling right now, but just to open this up on the map. Now, while we're here, you see this like little, I don't know, road ending thing? We're going to put a marker right there because there is a fast travel point just up on top there. And yeah, it's a bit of a climb, but it's worth it because we can fast travel down here later. And yeah, it's not too bad of a climb, honestly. It's there's a simpler way to do it. And there's plenty of ledges, but what we can start doing is force palm jumping. So you're going to jump, and then force palm 3 times, and then glide forward and grab the ledge. And that's going to make your trips a little, just a tiny little bit faster. Now, there's a very important warning here. Do not ever touch these purple flowers. These things will kill you very quickly. They are not to be messed with. I don't know what use these have. I have looked everywhere. I have tried everything. I've tried attacking them with every weapon, burning them, casting spells, blowing them up, throwing enemies in them. They'll kill enemies too. Not animals, but humanoids. Anyway, at the top is this little abyss crescent, and this gives us a skill point, which is very nice. All right, and it's a fast travel point, so it's like a double dose. All right, now we'll go ahead and proceed down to this question mark. And this is just another street vendor, so we can go ahead and open his shop, and we're going to buy all the iron ore and all the water. There we go. Pretty simple stuff. Now what we're going to do is get another fast travel point. So if we click at this Howling Hill little location, this doesn't exist yet because we're only in Chapter 2, but there's 2 ways to get there. You can take the road and go up the mountain path and circle around, or you can just beeline it and then climb the hill. Whatever you want to do. Now, if you're having difficulty finding the fast travel, use your blinding light, and you'll see the shimmering kind of thing there. Just run towards that, and that unlocks the fast travel. It's just nice to get this now, since we're down here, rather than trying to bother to get it later. Alright, so now what we're going to do is, we're still not doing this Lioncrest watchtower. We're going to fast travel back to town, and I guess my character's moving, because it doesn't want me to teleport at this moment, but if that bug still persists, then you can save game, load game, and that will also fix it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put a marker. You see, like, there's like a little blue cloudy part here on the map. We're going to put a map marker to the right of that cloud, and we're just going to beeline it straight there. Alright, so once you're here, this is the Kindlin Workshop, and we just want the fast travel point. This is a story thing later, but you can use your blinding light to look around for the fast travel, which that is not it over there. That's another thing we can get later. That's part of the story. But there is a fast travel that's around here. We just got to look for it. Actually, I think it's at the very top here. Yeah, so. Yeah, there it is. Or no, that's not it. But it's nearby. So just get to a high point and then look around, and you'll eventually find it. There it is. It is northeast of the big hill. But yeah, we stand on this, get the fast travel point. Now, we're going to grab another one and a skill point, and what we're going to do is we're going to go west, and you'll see, again, the bumbling clouds, and there's like a little gap between these 2 clouds. We're just going to go to the right of that a bit, kind of right there. Alright, so this is where I'm at on the map. You're going to see the big smog question mark thing on your map, and this is the ancient ruins. Now, this is a puzzle, and you'll see a bunch of stones on the ground. Don't touch, attack, or do anything crazy to disrupt these stones. But over here, kind of on the northwestern side, you'll see this little thing that pops out of the ground. And to the right of that is a white stone. So just do exactly as I do. We're going to pick up this white stone. We're going to turn around to our left slowly. And we're going to walk kind of on this second row here. there is a spot right here for the white stone. I'm pretty sure this is the right spot, but we're going to drop that stone right there. And that should solve the puzzle. Alright, we're going to go back to the stone now. And that was not where that goes. So actually, it goes like right here, but there is a monster in the way. So we have to attack the monster to shoo it off. There you go. Get out of here. Right? And then we're going to pick this stone back up that we put down. And if you mess this up, you can leave the area and it'll reset, or just save load game, or just die. Just go swim in the river nearby. And that should complete the puzzle. There we go. That did it, yeah. It's because the monster was in the spot. Normally there's not a monster there. Alright. And then we're going to grab this. And again, that's a free skill point and a fast travel. And this is actually a very nice fast travel to one of my favorite early hunting grounds, because we have a pack of deer over here and a pack of deer over here, but we don't have the stamina and we don't have the skills to be able to just dive bomb them and kill them real quick, so we're not going to be hunting at the moment. There's one more spot I also like to unlock, and we're just going to go right up the river here, kind of towards the edge of this blue blob, and there's another fast travel. And what you want to do is you want to kind of go along this river here. And yeah, it's a little bit harder to climb in this zone because it's cold, and so you actually lose stamina a lot faster. And since we haven't leveled stamina yet, it's a bit of a crux. But you're going to see big waterfall here, and to the right of that waterfall is a fast travel point and a lot of goats. There's a whole bunch of goats here. So this is a really good hunting spot also for goats. And what you can do is, when standing on the fast travel, you can fast travel to it, and that's going to reset the area. And right in front of you is goats, and you can kill them for meat and hide and leather and all that stuff. But we don't have the skills to obliterate the goats quickly, so we're not going to do that. But another thing too is this is a really good spot for fishing, but not in the general sense where you pull out your fishing rod and fish. What you want to do is late at night, the water is mostly shallow, especially in the middle here. Shine your lantern into the water, and if you see a bunch of fish, then all you have to do is jump in the water and then swim around holding your loot button, and you can just yoink the fish with your hands. It's a very fast way to get a lot of fish, though I have not really found a use for fish because it's not the better meat in the game. But also there's a chest over here. You can go ahead and grab it. The chest will have random loot. It's never the same, so let's see what I get. I got one timber and a copper pouch. Wow, whoop-de-doo, right? But sometimes you can get diamonds. Sometimes you can get other stuff. It's random. But yeah, if you come here at like, look, there's a bunch of fish in there right now. Look at that. I can just hold my loot button, and I grabbed a rice fish. I grabbed another rice fish. That's 3 fish. Normally, you would have to cast your fishing pole and play a mini game in order to fish. But if you fish this way, it's so much faster. Alright. But yeah, you can stand in the shallow parts, and you can just hold the E button. There we go. Small gudgeon. There's a fish down here. We're also catching flies. We got a tench. If you manage to catch a tench, you need that for a quest later. So don't sell it, eat or get rid of it. You need a tench. So you can get it here. It's random if you get a tench or not, but the quest will give you a guaranteed spot to get a tench, so it's not a big deal. We'll tackle that quest later on. I just want you to be aware that this is a really good spot to fish and hunt goats, okay? It's nice early on. There's better spots later in the game, but this is a good early spot. Alright, now we need a waypoint for buck. Now, you may be thinking, well, isn't this the waypoint for deer? And yes, for deer, but not bucks. Bucks are the big male deer with antlers, and we need longhorns from them for a crafting potion for later. What we're going to do is we're going to put a waypoint kind of north, not quite where this bubble is or these lakes, but like slightly below it. And we're just going to go there. It's a pretty easy trip. Now, along the way to this waypoint, you're going to come across another one of these trading posts. Now, unfortunately, this one is not labeled as free to take. This one is for stealing. So, we don't want to do that because there's going to be witnesses around. But the cool thing about this outpost is there are usually 2 specialists instead of 1. Right now, we don't have items to be gifting. I mean, we have a few coin pouches and some horns and stuff, but like, for instance, we have our herbalist here. If I go to gift, I have coin pouch worth 5 trust. Remember, we get a +2 on everything. We have horns worth 10, and horns are easy to farm. You farm them from goats, right? So I could technically boost his trust to 70. Here, I'll just go ahead and show you. So we're going to give him 1 horn. That's going to give +12. So 12, 24, 36, 48, 60, 72, 84. So we have him at 84 trust, and then we have you know, a couple of these coin pouches. So this will give it +5, but it's really +7. There we go. So we boosted the herbalist to 100 trust, and now he's going to give us something. He gave us 10 Saint Tail roots, which is you can see here it is a it's just a plant that's kind of, it says it's a common weed, so we kind of lost on that trade, but over here we have another specialist, again, another herbalist, and again, if we, you know, give him coin pouches, we can actually give him the herbs to raise it by 10, so we'll just do that and see what he gives us instead. And we might get something rare, or we might get something garbage.
Feel free.
Alright, so this time we got 20 marigold, which is also a common one, but hey, that's an even better trade, right? So you're going to have so many giftable items later on, and all you have to do is save load or go to the fast travel that's just up ahead, and then you can fly down from it right here, and you can just mass trade specialists and get a bunch of rare materials. Alright, so once you get up here, if you're looking at this kind of weird arc structure thing, look to the right, and that is the fast travel. Now, again, this fast travel is important because it gives you access to very easy to farm bucks. Alright, so to farm the bucks, you're going to face, I believe, it's about south-ish. So face south, make sure you're standing on the waypoint. You're going to fast travel to the waypoint. And then, there we go, we have 2 bucks that just spawned in. And obviously, if you point your bow at them, they get a little scared, but we don't really have the combat prowess to take these out. I mean, yeah, you could run up and start chopping them or whatever, right? There we go. Actually, we could kill those pretty easy. But there's an easier way to kill these later, but by skinning the bucks, you get their longhorn. This is useful for 8 seconds of infinite stamina. You get meat, you get hide, you get a lot of good stuff from these guys, alright? And they do give slightly different loot than the deer, so you do want to farm both. Deer is just mainly for meat, bucks are mainly for the longhorns, alright? But again, from this fast travel, you can literally just run right down the road, and it's a pretty short run, and you can, again, it refreshes the specialists each time, and later we're going to have, again, like I said, so many gifts. Also, it's a shorter run on the horse. I didn't feel like summoning the horse. But once we get some, you know, travel abilities, you'll be able to fly there very quickly. But right now, we just don't have the stamina. We don't have the skill points allocated. We don't have the story progressed. But let's see what specialists spawned in this time. And is there just no one here? There is nobody here. Yeah, if there's no one around, then you can steal and loot this place. But it's the same loot as before, which we've already loaded up on. But yeah, just keep save loading. And, well, I mean, there is a chest here, so we can go ahead and yoink that. I'll just show you an example of what you can get. Again, the chest is completely random loot. But we're just going to go ahead and put the mask on and yoink this. And again, there's no one around to see us and report us. We got copper epidote, which, epidote, I don't know how to say the damn thing. But yeah, very neat. And again, there can be 2 specialists here. I guess sometimes there is, sometimes there isn't. But I really wish you could yoink the gold bars on the table. But once you hit, I think, Chapter 4 or 5, then there will always be an NPC here. So you can't rob this place after Chapter 4 or 5. But you can reload and come here for the specialist to trade with them. Alright, now from this waypoint, we're going to go get another skill point. And if we go directly up a bit and slightly to the right, or diagonally from the H, however you want to look at it, we're just going to go up somewhere around right there. It's not too far away. And once you've cleared a little bit of the map here, you'll have like a triangle here and a triangle here. We want to kind of go about right there or so. And you'll know when you're in the right spot if you come across this like shrine looking thing with gravestones and people praying. And this is what the map looks like, okay? So what you're going to do is on the left here, there is a fire that needs to be turned on. So we'll go ahead and do that. And then over here on the right side, kind of amongst the graves, and you're not allowed to really step on the graves because then Cliff will step off of them. So it's a little awkward over here, but you can just jump around and kind of avoid it. You're going to turn this one on, and sometimes, I don't know if this is like a chunk loading error or the way the game's engine works, but sometimes when you go over to turn this one on, it turns the first one off. So if that happens to you, it didn't this time for me, but if it happens to you, just go turn it on again, and that will unlock the crescent. This is a fast travel point and a skill point. Now, this area is really rich in snails. They crawl on the trees. They're very easy to see. You just run them around in the forest, and you will get a lot of snails. But snails are pretty useless. I haven't found a good use for them. You can make a defense potion, plus 10 defense, which sounds good, but it's not. Also, there's a palmer pill in one of the graves, so you can go ahead and yoink that. And, yeah, that's pretty much it for this area. We just get this so we can, you know, fast travel up here later for gear purposes. From this fast travel point, you're going to go ahead and go to this triangle right there, and we'll get a spear. Now, this is the Sidman Spear. It's the same as the Warspike Spear you can get earlier, but this one's just cooler looking. It's also upgraded, so it's just nicer to have. Now, the only reason we get this, because we're not using this as a weapon. There is a spear tournament thing where you can beat like 3 people, then beat the champion, get a skill point. So this would be how we do that, or you can just sell this when you have a better spear later. But it's just nice to have a spear so that you can do that tournament. Also, there's an empty bottle here, which is useful for alchemy, and you can go ahead and get the Sealed Abyss artifact. And these are like little challenges that you can do to get rewards. This one wants us to do 15 spear counterattacks in 30 seconds. Pretty simple. But after that, what we're going to do now is we're going to go in between these 2 gaps here. So we're going to fast travel about right there. And you'll come across, again, one of those foggy question marks on the map, so use your blinding sword and follow the light shimmer, and you should find the next fast travel pretty close by. So let's see. Yeah, there it is. It's right in front of me. Right, there we go. Now, this one has pigs, boars, pigs. These things have a lot of health, but yeah, you can use this one for pig and boar hunting. The dog is in the way, but when we fast traveled here, you can see well, that time it's deer, but yeah, it does, here, let's try it again, because it's supposed to be pigs. Alright, our character is currently moving, now it's not moving, now we fast travel there again, and still deer. Well, it did work for pigs before, I'm not sure why it's not right now, but you can try it, you know, maybe it's a time of day thing. From this waypoint, you're going to go to up kind of towards right around here where the blue blobby clouds are and put a mark, and then run to that area. And as you approach, you're going to see a very, well, not a very tall, just a medium-sized mountain. You're going to have to scale and get to the top of that mountain, and it's going to kind of suck because you're in the cold and your stamina isn't as beefy as it would be, but this mountain is very climbable. There's lots of little rest stops along the way. Just do your best to climb it. It will take a bit of time, but once we climb it, we never have to climb it ever again. Also, I know we don't have focus yet, so doing the palm jumps does eat up your spirit. But if you jump and then glide, well, off of something a little bit taller than this, let's actually get a little bit more height. But if you jump and glide, you can actually enter focus mode by pushing X on mouse and keyboard. So it looks something like this, and then that will let you generate your spirit back a lot faster. You're not supposed to be able to do this ability yet, but for some reason it'll let us do it while we're in the air, so there's no harm in it, right? But yeah, you can, again, scale the mountain quicker by just doing this, and then gliding to a wall and grabbing it. And again, I'm almost there. Well, I don't know why I didn't climb that, but you get the idea. And once you reach the top, you can get your skill point and your fast travel point. Very, very useful. There we go. And this is what the map looks like. You'll notice that, I don't know why the fog didn't clear. Okay, there we go. Now it's clear, so it's right south of this little weird configuration on the water there. Next up, we're going to go right about here for another fast travel point, and you should be able to see it since we're on the top of a mountain. You can just run to the edge, shine your sword into the light, and, yeah, or just, you know, Also, the snow's a little deep here. But yeah, there's some shimmering light right up there. And again, we're just going to run to that. And yeah, I know there's another puzzle here, but it's nothing to worry about right now. Also, there's some shadow dudes up here that cast spells at you. Don't worry about them. They're no big deal. Oh, and if you let them kill you, it'll actually spawn you closer to where we need to go. So if you didn't get this fast travel, that's fine, because it'll put you down here at a camp. And if we go right about there, there is another fast travel. And this one is right here. I'm going to go ahead and stand on it so you can see exactly where it's at on the map, so you can get it too. There we go. And yeah, so here's this little walking road. You just go kind of left to that. I was a little bit close with my mark, but it's a little bit right there. Now, from the waypoint, go northwest just a bit, and on top of a building, there will be like a little square here. If you crouch down and use your force punch, it will flip you under it into a treasure chest. And inside is the best cape in the game, or the best in slot cape when fully upgraded, the plate Cloak of the Shadows. Alright, so let's go ahead and check that out now. And this thing has fire resistance level 7, some nice defense. This is the highest stat cape in the game. And again, the fire resistance is pretty damn good, so we're absolutely going to put that bad boy on immediately. And yeah, there is no better cape. The other capes, they have like 5 cold resistance, so they're useful for the cold zone, so you still need a cold cape. And then to get out, you can either fast travel out, or you can light the fire. And that's pretty much it. So you light the fire, and then the gates open. There you go. But yeah, now we have a badass cape. Although it doesn't really help us in this snowy region, it's still a massive upgrade. Now open your map, and then use middle click to switch to the Abyss view. And then we're going to teleport to the Abyss Nexus in the sky and do a puzzle. Alright, you remember this scene, so we're going to head... What is this? This is southeast. Up to the gate, so we can continue along the path and unlock more of this sky zone. And the reason we're doing this is so that it will make the upcoming quests much faster and easier to do. So again, to do this puzzle, you're just going to attach your arm to it and then twist it until everything starts kind of glowing blue like that, and then hold it, and that will complete the puzzle. By the way, I want to teach you how, if you fall off this thing, how to kind of correct that. And they did make it better in a patch. If you're playing the base game, the timing is a little wonky. But let's say you do an oopsie, especially on this platform puzzle, and you fall. So just get ready to push your axiom button, so that's the tab button for me. You will grab the sky, then hold escape, and then let go, and then that's going to reset your position there. So pretty simple, pretty easy. That way you don't have to fall to the ground and then load game and then teleport back up here or whatever it is that you want to do. It makes the puzzle way simpler and way more repeatable. Alright. Also for this puzzle, you can kind of cheese it a bit. You can jump, and then you can triple palm into glide into focus mode, and then you can kind of glide along, and that's going to really slowly eat up your stamina. If you go to the right here, there is a chest. And I'm doing this with a base character. I didn't level up anything. But this will let me glide all the way over here. And so now I can just drop down. Or I can end the focus mode and then drop down. And this has an Abyss gear. There we go, Abyss gears. And we don't really need this. This is just Destruction 1. And what that does is it's like attack +1, I'm pretty sure. So that is, yeah, attack +1. You would socket this into your gear, but we can't do that until chapter, I believe, 3. Yeah, so don't worry too much about it. Also, you don't even have to do the platforms, because you can just jump, triple palm, into glide, into focus, and then you can just float over. So this is the easy solution to the puzzle. It's a little slow right now because we haven't learned advanced flight or aerial barrel roll dodge. So don't worry too much about that. There we go. That completes the puzzle. And on to the next stage. And again, we're doing this so that we can fast travel on the below world much easier. You can see this is going to zip us pretty far forward over here. And yeah, we're going to complete this puzzle, unlock another one, and then we can use that to drop down for some delicious loot. Alright, so here's the puzzle solution to this zone. We're just going to, again, just triple, glide, focus, and we're just going to fly to this island super far away. Now, if you want to take a rest at any of these platforms nearby, you absolutely can. I would recommend that you fly to at least this one, and then rest, and then you can fly to that one. But I'm going to fly to this little platform here instead. There we go. And yeah, we'll just land right in here. Well, I kind of overshot it, but you can still climb and grab. That's fine, right? And yeah, this one will float us down over there. If you don't want to wait, you can just glide there. It's however you want to do it. But what we want to do is we want to get to the top area where all those trees are. And once you're in this area, we don't want to go down to the puzzle room yet, because on the northern face is where the fast travel is. And we're going to be using that fast travel later to drop down below us. So we want to make sure that we collect it. So again, that's just going to be right over here. So we're going to grab this fast travel. There it is. And then we're going to proceed back up to the middle here. And I just think it's faster just to kind of, you know, do this rather than take the stairs. But that's just me. Alright, and now this area may look complex or complicated, but it's really not. You just go to the middle, and then you punch the floor, like we did earlier. Alright, there we go, and then punch the floor. And this cues a Mission Impossible free fall, but if you fall fast enough... Oh, well, yeah, you can hit the side and break your neck, I guess. So that's pretty brutal. There we are getting ground up. So maybe we try that again. Also, I gotta do this to filter out some viewers of the channel. Hold on. We have a skunky in our hands, which is like a little creature thing, I don't know. But we're just gonna Super Mario 64 it off the edge. Woo! See you later! Yep, don't worry, he'll be fine. Oh, man. Listen, dweeb, it's a pixelated animal. It's not real. It's fine. Nothing actually got hurt. And look, see, he's back again. You can pick him up, and then you can put him down, and there you go. And then you could slash him, and he just kind of disappears, right? He's not even a real creature. It's a magical creature, okay? No pixelated fake animals were harmed in the making of this tutorial video, all right? All right, so this is attempt number 2 since we hit the side of the wall and died. All right, and yeah, I'm just gonna free fall it, or try to, and not, you know, hit the side. Just right down the middle. Can we dodge all the lasers? Hell yeah, we're awesome. Okay, never mind, I spoke too soon. But we're gonna glide about right here and land on this big fat block because there is a floating battery that we need to grab, but we need to kind of land here and then axiom force it and move it as far down as we can, all right? We need to move it all the way down. That way we can grab it on the ground level. And I still need this further down, actually, so I need to push this down even more. I need to drag it maybe a little bit closer this way, a little bit. Anyway, no, that's fine. All right, cool. There we go. And I should be able to reach that from the ground level. That's what we want to make sure that we do. There we go, we got it. And there are 3 battery slots over here, and we are going to move this close enough to where you see those green leaves fluttering. And then we're going to go punch it. And this is a little tricky. You can either try to punch it from the side, and you will get shocked standing on these things. You can also just jump over it and punch downward. It's, again, the controls are a little wonky. But yeah, so that like, clicked the battery into it, which powers this thing. Awesome, and then that powers this teleporter. And that's the solution to the island puzzle. Pretty simple, pretty easy, not too complex, not too complicated. But yeah, it's gonna zip us back out over this way. Ta-da! Awesome, right? All right, hurry up, game. Let me rein control. Now, this is the same puzzle. You just grab the battery and you smush it against the wall as best you can, like that. And then you got to go punch it in. And yeah, that's the game's just trying to teach you to punch things into stuff. And then, hey, look, it's a punchable button. We all know what to do with that thing. Yep, look, it popped itself out for us. And then we're gonna crouch and punch. And there we go. Collect our skill point. Easy peasy. That's going to appear right in here. Of course, it takes the computer a little while, or not my computer, but the in-game computers a while to boot up. Then as we move northeast, there is another gate, which will take us to another area. So again, walk through the gate, put our hand on the rotating dial, and rinse and repeat. Alright, on to the next bit. We can just skip the entire puzzle by just doing this. Gliding and then focusing, and there we go. And we can just get right over to that little island there with the teleporter. Yeah, it'll take a little bit of time, but it's easier. And I think it's still faster. And if you want, you could turn the focus off so you can go a little bit faster, because we have plenty of stamina, even though we just have the starting amount of stamina. Alright, that'll hit the teleporter here. There we go, that's going to zip us across. Alright, look how much distance we're about to cover here. Zoom. And, yep, not too much, but we're making progress. So this is another puzzle area, and it's pretty simple. Alright, we're going to also do the triple punch, and just kind of fly across like so. And yeah, it's got a little bit of climbing this time. Now, there is a turret here. We're going to use our Axiom grabby hand to grab that orb in the middle. And that will shoot you. It won't kill... It can kill you, but it probably won't kill you. We're going to grab the power core. Alright. And you can walk in here too if you want, right? You don't have to climb over if you don't want to. But we're gonna haul this power core along with us. So we're just gonna whip it over this way. Like so, and then push it through the doorway there. Just like that. Running through. And this thing can shock you when you get close to it. So the solution to this puzzle is you grab the electric ball thing, and then you put it on the cube here to the left of this like little force field thing. So we're just gonna move it until the cube kind of, you know, breaks into little chunks. Drop it there. That removes the force field. And that gives us the battery, which we can pull out. Swivel it around over here. And then we can put it into the wall here by punching it. There we go. Alright, and then that's going to activate this air thing that'll push us up over there. So all we gotta do is just glide to that, jump over, keep your wings out, and let it push you up. So that's gonna look like this. There we go. And if you deactivate and then punch 3 times and then reactivate it, you can fly a little bit further if you want. But I'm just cheating it so I don't have to wait for that little platform to carry me up. There we are. Awesome. Now, we're not actually going to complete the puzzle on this one. You absolutely can, and your character has enough power to do so, but I like to have more mobility just to make this puzzle easier because it's got a lot of verticality. But what we're going to do instead is we're going to swap the map view to the Ironwood area here. And what we're going to do now is we're going to click about right there or so. And we're just going to jump. We're just going to jump off the ledge, and there is a fast travel to go ahead and get. So I will show that process now. Also, yes, that is an enemy that you have to kill for the puzzle, but we're just going to jump down. It doesn't matter. But you see that big plateau that's kind of... we don't want to, like, fall where the water is. We want to fall where the plateau is. So in order to do that, we're going to then, you know, glide, and then, you know, use the slow mode here. And then as we fall, we don't want to fast fall. You will gain stamina, and you can continue gliding in this direction. Actually, no, I'm kind of wrong about that. I'm overshooting it. So you see this little hump right here in the road? We want to be like about right there. So I need to actually turn around. So no, we're not crossing this big ravine. We're actually going over on this side. And we could undo the wings so you can turn around fast if you want. But yeah, we can go ahead and just fast fall it. We're pretty much right on top of where we need to be. So, but yeah, there is a fast travel right down here. And you can use your sword shimmer when you're gliding to see where it's at. So that's where we want to land, right there on that little cliff side. So let's drop in, boyos. Don't forget to thank the bus driver. All right, and there we go. Fast travel. Boom. Easy. Very easy. And yeah, the animals are like, what the hell? What the helly? But yeah, we're not actually going to be using this fast travel right now. We're just getting it for now because it just makes things easier later. What we're going to do now is we're going to actually teleport back to this island. All right, there we go. And then we're going to jump off that one for more fast travels. Pretty cool, right? All right, the next one we want to get is right on top of here. There is like this little circle here. We're going to go ahead and you'll notice that if we jump off from this part of the island, it'll be way easier. But we're not going to do that. We don't need to. So go ahead and put your marker there, and then, you know, get to jumping off. There we go. And you don't need to see this. I'm sure you're capable of gliding 200 meters in a direction and then falling on top of a thing. And remember, you can hold your sword, and you can see the shimmer. Now, right now, we're still in the Abyss Zone. You have to wait until you leave the Abyss Zone to be able to see the shimmering light. Oh, by the way, on your way, this little plateau here, it has a treasure chest. It's usually nothing good. Again, it's completely random. Let's see what I get. We got 5 Azurite and 2 Solicite. That's pretty good, actually. But again, it's always random. But yeah, now we can continue on our journey. And once this little transition ends, that's when we can start to see the shimmering light. So if I glide and then sword, now we can see the points. Alright, and remember, we want to land actually behind us on that mountain there. So that would be right below us, I guess? Yeah, I guess we're right on top of it. So yeah, we will just go ahead and land there. Alright, so landing right here, again, there's like the crane thing. We can go ahead and grab the skill point and, again, the fast travel. So this one's really good to get because we need to do a quest that is like right over here at the Trembling Gorge. Yeah, or maybe the Sanctum. It's like either right up here or right in here, and it involves this little village Pororin. All right, next up we're just gonna get more fast travel points to make kind of the end of chapter 2 a little bit easier. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put a waypoint about right there, and we're going to fast travel to this one. There's no way to drop from the sky for these. We're going to have to walk it, unfortunate. All right, so once you are at this location, you may be wondering, well, where's the fast travel point? I'm using the blinding light, and I don't see the shimmer anywhere. So you'll see some stone on the ground covered by vines. You're going to use your shimmering light, and then you're going to use your focus light, and you're going to burn the plants. And it takes a bit for them to get crispy and catch on fire. Oh, I'm standing in the fire. That's fun. Duck and roll. Alright, so once the plants burn... Okay, I'm still too close, apparently. Yeah, it is right here. Now, this one isn't available yet, apparently. Weird. I swear... I guess we can't get this one early, but hey, now you know where it's at for later. And I'll spoil it for you. You get a cuckoo pod. You can grab the floating things that we saw earlier, put them inside. And what you need is a teleport repair item to be able to repair this one. But not a big deal. The next one we're going to get is located right there. So just run along the cliffside until you get there. Pretty simple one to get, but we'll go ahead and stand on that. Now, the next one to get is actually right down here. So we're looking for this little, like, slice in the mountain a bit. And then we're going to go perpendicular to this little water droplet to this slice. And it's like right in there. So that is another waypoint secured. And again, it's like right in here. I guess a little lower than the water droplet and maybe a little more to the left of the slice. But you should be able to find it. And now there is another one right over here. I guess I walked close enough to it to show the question mark on the map. Alright, so there we go. We have the trifecta of fast travel points around the Goldleaf Guild House. Very cool. Next, this one is mildly difficult, but we're going to put an X right here at this second road, kind of at the bottom. And there is a best-in-slot dagger for us there. Now, I went ahead and flew over the top here just to kind of show you. The swamp underneath these buildings will hurt you. So this might take a few attempts, and there's bandits. We're not going to fight the bandits, but you're going to go under the, not the first hut here, but the second hut. And yeah, our health is draining. So, very painful, right? And unless we have healing items, this could prove difficult. Also, I'm just... What the hell was that? My character, like, I still had life left. Alright, let's try the horse. And, yeah. Let's see, if the horse gets hurt or dies, we have the ability to heal the horse, right? So... You'll notice right here on the floor, we're going to have to take out this bandit first real quick. And since we're getting the poison goop. Oh, there's another one. Okay. There we go. We're going to punch this wall. And nothing's going to happen. That's fine. We're going to climb right here instead. And punch that wall. Yeah, that's the right wall to punch. Or can we just scoot under it? Yeah, we can just scoot under it. Okay, there we go. And yeah, under here is the dagger. So there we go. Pick that up. And... that is the Goblin King's Treasure Dagger. Best in slot dagger in the game, alright? And what this does, it gives you 10% chance to skin additional hide. So we're going to go ahead and put that bad boy on and forget about our old dagger. Alright, so from here, and you may die and have to reset, but we're going to set a waypoint. There's like a big spike protruding. We're going to go a little bit to the left of that, and there's a fast travel right around there. And yeah, instead of getting out of here with the revolving door, I'm just going to drown or die in the goop. Also, dying in the goop is a way to spawn at this little camp here. And whenever you respawn, there are pigs. So if you want to farm pigs, this is one way to do it. Then once you farm the pigs, you jump in the goop. Also, you'll notice the horse is bloody from the goop, right? So how do you heal the horse without horse tonics? Well, you hold your focus palm, you push tab for healing palm, and then you slap the horse. And now the horse is as good as new. Although there's still a little bit of blood on it. So we can just, you know, heal it once again. There we go. All better. Easy heals for the horse. But yeah, pigs have a lot of health, and so we don't really want to hunt them right now anyway. Well, I was a little bit off, but the fast travel, it's right here. Here's, you know, a zoom out of the map. It's kind of perpendicular to the Mudridge cabin. So there we go. Next up, we're going to go get our best in slot gloves. So you'll see where these like two roads are kind of intersecting. We'll just go right about here. You don't have to be exact because I'll show you where to go from there. All right, so once you've climbed up to this hill, the game is going to be like, hey, you're here too early. Get the frick out of here, okay?
May wisdom guide your path.
Anyway, so yeah, you're going to be looking at this big mega structure, and we're going to go here to the left. So just kind of follow where I'm going. I'm not taking the stairs. I'm going up this little left area here. All right? And it's pretty peculiar, so you might have to rewind. That's fine. Anyway, there's going to be a wall right there, and you'll know you're in the right spot because there should be a shield on the ground. You can take the shield if you want. We'll sell it, whatever, why not? But we're just going to jump up this right here. And right where we land, there is a booby-trapped part of the floor. Right there. Go ahead and just walk over that. It's going to crumble down. We'll go down inside. And yeah, we're in like a little hidden area. And there is a treasure chest. And yeah, you just open it, and that is the Blackwing leather gloves. Best in slot gloves when you fully upgrade them, that is. And not for punch builds, but just in general for stat maxing, alright? This also comes with bonus health every 1 second. It comes with a lightning resistance socket. We're going to remove these later, but for now, it's just really nice. And it's up to you if you want to keep on your timber logging gloves, right? Or if you want the health. And since I'm not chopping wood, I'm going to put on my, my timber chopping ones. And as far as shields go, your starter shield's fine. We're going to be dual wielding for every fight anyway, just about, and using... You could choose to use large gilded shield if you want for learning boss fights, but you don't really need it. You'll just overpower everything. Alright, I know all of these skill points are just itching away at you. Let's see how many we have. We have 11 skill points to allocate, but we're not going to allocate them just yet. Hold on for a bit longer. Alright, so what you're going to do now is you're going to attempt to go to Pororin village, and what's going to happen is they're going to blow dart you asleep and drag you out in the middle of nowhere. Also, you can just fast travel out of here. That makes it a lot easier to get out. But after like 3 or 4 attempts, you will get a quest to help the village to get access to the village. And you'll know you got it when you hit an extra long loading screen. But yeah, just keep entering or attempting to enter the village until it puts you kind of more at a camp. You can get the Palmer pill while you're there. And yeah, as we walk forward, you can see there's now a quest marker, and there's a character here, Arkin, who is going to give us a quest.
You were just kicked out, right?
So we can get back in. So you'll notice that the quest is actually all the way over here, the unreachable village. Hey, guess what? We got the fast travel for that, making it real easy. But here's the reality of it. You get the quest here, and the game wants you to go east over here. If you try to go east towards the village kicks you out. If you try to go around the village, it's a stupid, annoying mountain. There's bad guys. If you go north and east, there's bad guys in deadly swamps. So by doing this method, this lets you get there so much quicker, so much easier. Now, to do this quest, you're looking for a really big tree guy that's walking around. Obviously, we can't see him right now, but sometimes when you fast travel up here, you can. And the quest turn-in is right there on that mountain. And he should render in from this mountaintop. So if you just, you can wait around for a while. You could also just continuously fast travel to this to see if it changes his location. It's kind of random to find him. But he doesn't technically spawn until you've talked to the kids. So again, we're just going to float right over them here and then drop down. Woo! And there we go. Cool, superhero landing. We're going to talk to him now and get this quest started.
Well,
so I can literally hear him walking around. I can see the shadow. Look at this. This is so funny.
Listen when I ask him about the thing on his head.
Yeah, there he is.
I really have
Literally
to get
right in
back
front of
before
us.
the kid finds out.
Anyway, so hurry up and stop talking, and then all you gotta do is jump on his head, which is really easy to do. As soon as the game gives me back control of my character. Ugh. But yeah, we're just gonna... Also, see how I'm in a blue zone? See how the name is blue? It means it won't let me do my force punch, or any kind of cool movement tech, right? So all you gotta do is get out of that little safe bubble. We're just gonna triple punch. That's gonna let us match his, we'll be height matching him. And then just climb up on top of his head, and then loot the relic, and then jump back over to the platform we were just on. Very easy quest. A lot of people have difficulty with this, but there you go. And now since we have the other fast travels, we can go ahead and fast travel back over here, and then we can enter the village finally. Alright, so once you are in Pororin village, you kind of want to come back during the day, but I'm not sure if entirely it matters, but what we're looking for is, we're looking for children that are double jumping. And they're around, but it is 11 p.m. at night, and they might not be out at night. I am unsure if that's the case, but normally there's a bunch of kids running around and playing in this village. And again, we're just looking for the double jumpers. Also, there are shops here, so let's, this is a dye shop, who cares? Right, but later, not this early, but later, there is a pet shop. You can buy little cosmetics for your cat or dog or whatever. But there's, again, this early in the game, there's not much to do here. But yeah, this is what it looks like. You got the rescue puppy outfit, the plate helmet, and the plate armor. And if you come here without a pet, then I don't think they'll even let you look at the wares. I don't know if a patch changed that or not. I know I went here like first thing in one of my playthroughs, and the shop would not even let me browse. Alright, so I found where the children are at, and basically, here's the village. The two, like in the very bottom left of like these two, like, I don't know, farm fields, you're gonna see the kids doing the double jumps. So all you gotta do is walk over to them. Don't bump into them or they will stop. Just get close enough until it gives you the observe prompt, and then watch them. And there you go, now you can double jump. And you didn't have to waste a skill point to learn it. So, woo, now we can do it. Woo, look at that, it's awesome. Pretty cool stuff. But now with double jump, we can unlock some of another skill tech, and that's going to be air stab. Alright, which was nerfed, unfortunately. But to learn air stab, go to the blue section here and go to stab. And you're going to put, 1 point in. It's going to, do a little cutscene. Then you need to put 2 points in, and that will max it out. So there we go. So for air stab, you double jump, hold shift, hold right click, and now you can stab into the sky. And we don't have a lot of stamina right now, so we can't really get a lot of verticality with it. But later on, with stamina potions, with stamina drinks, and with just more base stamina in general, we're going to be able to just soar through the sky and climb mountains like they're nothing. But speaking of learning skills, we need to go learn how to do a riposte or a counter. And so we're going to actually go back to Hernand now, and it's pretty close by. Now, we need to go during the day because at night, people aren't really training, so go to a bonfire. If it's night for you, you can hold Alt, and then you can push the wait button. Since it's 1 in the morning, I kind of want it to be like 1 p.m., so I'm just going to wait 12 hours. Womp womp. Alright, so we are at the Lioncrest Manor, and if you observe the archer, then we can learn a skill from him, and that is Charged Shot. Now, we don't really use this for combat, but we do use it for, I don't know, breaking certain objects in the world, so that's pretty cool. Also in the Lioncrest Manor, right around here, there are some people fighting, and don't bump into them, but just kind of get close enough to observe them, right? There we go. And we should be able to learn counter from these guys, though it's not popping up for me, but there's another spot to learn that anyway. Or maybe I already showed this earlier, I'm not sure. Now, right up here is kind of the Spear Tournament area. Here is Lioncrest Manor, we're just northeast of that. And there's lots of people to observe, and lots of skills to just, learn for free.
What do you want?
So just walk up and hit observe. Yep. And here we go, we're learning counters, so that means if you attack right before the enemy hits you, then you basically riposte them. So that's pretty cool. And again, you can walk up to a lot of these guys, and we got another one here. This guy's swinging a sword, and this is proficiency. So you can hold shift and left click to perform consecutive spinning slashes. This is one of our main DPSs when we're dual wielding late game. It's basically our opener on bosses and just in general AoE when we have on-hit effects on our weapons. Also, this guy's got Tornado Kick for later when you get other characters, but again, Cliff does not care about his Tornado Kicks. Now, since we have a spear, we can actually talk to this guy, and we could do the spear tournament. It does take a bit because enemies are way more tanky in this. You deal less damage than in the punching one. But I'm not going to do it, but you can if you want to. Now is a really good time to manage your inventory, so I'm going to the private storage. I'm going to put all my crafting stuff, food, etc. into storage, and I'm going to sell everything else. Alright, and then sell any excess junk that you don't need. Like, I don't need this Bolton shield. I don't need the Becker dagger because we've replaced it. I don't need any of these random fish that I fished out while giving you guys a fishing example, or the fly. I did store the one fish that I did need. Let's see. Now, Sidman's sword, that is going to be our main weapon, and Becker bow is going to be our main bow, so we're not going to sell those. Now, we can go ahead and equip the bow, and your starter purple items are considered a permanent slot, so you can't really sell or get rid of those, but we're going to go ahead and put on the Becker bow there, and we'll go ahead and also put on the Sidman sword. Now, we still need another Sidman sword, so we can be dual-wielding, but we're going to get plenty of those pretty soon. I've got the timber in my inventory because I wanted to turn in this quest to the smithy guy, so I'm going to hit the hand over button. There we go. And then part of his quest is to read his flyer, which he gives us for, doing the original quest. So we're going to click this envelope and then click Toonali's smithy flyer and give it a gander, I suppose. There we go. Now he can refine stuff for us and yada yada yada. Not a big deal. But we're going to go ahead and then sell the loot that he gave us there. So, back to this guy.
Let me forge you a blade
sell.
fit for legends.
We don't need the Becker shield. And you can't sell his flyer. It just eats inventory space. But hey, we have plenty of inventory space right now. But what's important is that he can start refining items for us. And so the way we're going to refine early items is we're not going to use the refinement token. I don't know why I have that. But we're going to be using duplicates, so we're going to have duplicate bows and swords and combine them all up. Now, the rabbit leather mask, we're not going to upgrade this armor, but we are going to upgrade the leather gloves and the boots and the earring. And if you got the necklace, great. If not, don't worry about it. Your Goblin King treasure dagger, upgrade this at the very last. I know some of you guys are OCD and you need everything maxed out, but don't waste money upgrading this. Also, your cloak. What's most important is weapon, body armor, accessories. Alright, so that way you get the most out of it, but we don't have the body armor we're going to be using yet, so we don't need to upgrade anything right now. I just want to let you know that's how we're going to be upgrading. Oh, I made a mistake. You have to refine the Becker shield. I forget. My bad. So don't sell the Becker shield yet. Go to the refiner guy and refine it. It's for the quest reward. So Becker shield, and we're going to use materials for that one. So it's kind of awkward to have to click it, but that's going to be tin timber. And then we hit refine, skip. There we go. Oh boy, we refined it. Oh, so cool, man. Yeah, awesome. All right. There we go. Now we can sell it. Now it's gone. Now, while you're here, make sure that you check this wall to the right of the smithy and this little stall for Sidman swords. If there is, buy them. If not, don't worry about it. These are randomly generated, and they change once a week or so. So let's see. We got, yeah, here we go. We can go ahead and buy that. There we go. And you're going to get a bunch of these from Bandits anyway. And also, there's another one there. Awesome. And now this wall behind Rhett is a little harder to check. But yeah, you can go into first person mode and that makes it a little bit easier. Or you can get around to his other side. Man, I have hiccups right now. But yeah, it's a little awkward. You got Fallen Kingdom sword down there. Glenmore. These are all Glenmores. So we're good there. But yeah, you want to buy all those up. And then you want to have at least 2 going every time. So in this case, we can go ahead and start refining the Sidman swords. Alright, so we're going to use same equipment. Which I don't know why it's not swapping over, but okay. Why? Why are you... Let me use same equipment, damn it! There it goes. The hitbox is weird. But there we go. We're going to refine the sword with the sword itself. And it's not letting me select it. That's fun. Okay, there we go. There we go. It took a bit of finagling. Hey, you know, they're still working on this game. It's whatever, right? All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to this little area in the Abyss, the rightmost island, and teleport there. And we're gonna jump off the side once again. And this time we're going to be aiming pretty far up, and we need to go about like right there. It's a little hard to get to from where we're at, but we should be able to skip a lot of the combat. We're going to learn a few more skills, by the way, too. Because we have the skill points, and we need to burn some of them. So we're going to go down to Flight, and we're going to learn Swift Flight, and that's going to cost 1 artifact. There we go. And then we also need to learn Aerial Roll, and that's going to cost 1 artifact. All right. Now, what I recommend that you also do is that you go up here to Stamina, and we're going to put 2 points into Stamina. So that's 1 and 1 artifact. We have 4 remaining. You might have less, you might have more, depending on how many bandits you've killed, but that's all we need to spend for now. What we're going to do is, while we're floating, we enter focus, we double tap shift for aerial roll, and now we stay in focus while we're sprinting, and you can see the stamina spending is very small, and we're going to do this in the air as long as possible so that we can get as close to that waypoint as possible, because there are a lot of hostile mobs beneath us, and we don't want to have to traverse through them. But you can see here, just flying from the sky, I have traversed 300 meters. Now, I'm transferring into the open world here. So we're going to, as soon as it lets us, we're going to, again, open our wings. We're going to focus, we're going to aerial roll, and we're going to hold that shift button. That way we are flying faster. So there we go. And we're just going to rinse and repeat this. And you can see it's draining very slow. We're already over our target. That was 600 meters, like nothing. And again, while you have your wings out, you can push your blinding light, and you can see where it is. So there it is right over there. And then all I have to do is let go, get some stamina back, just like that. Getting our stamina back. Open wings, enter focus, and then just, you know, dodge roll over to it. Pretty simple stuff. Okay, so that wasn't it. That was a sealed abyss core. Again, it's supposed to be up here. So my bad. Whoops. All right, we found it. It was under a tree. That's why we couldn't see it. But yeah, let's go ahead and show you on the map exactly where this one is. This one's very pivotal to our travel. Yeah, it is right here. If you line it up with the S in Lower Nos River and you go to the right, and I don't know what else to line it up with, but there you go. That's where it's at. We need to head north to Mistvale Forest, and yeah, so what we're gonna do is you're just gonna go right about here, and there's gonna be a bunch of people in bunny helmets just like we have, and these guys are super rich. It is the best pickpocket spot in the game, but we're gonna get a waypoint there because there's a story boss later, and it just saves time to get it now rather than later, and it's near some areas with some really good loot. So we're looking for the Demonis Wildlife Park, and so we're going to double jump and then just dash over the spiked wall using our air stab. That's why we got the air stab, that's why we got the extra stamina. So it's going to make traversal a lot simpler moving forward. We can double jump, and we can just soar over mountains and stuff. Also, don't attack the wildlife, and try not to spook the people. But let me explain what you're going to be doing. Now, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be walking north for quite a bit, all right? But we're going to go about up here. That's where we're going to be working towards, but you're not going to rush there. You're not going to run there. Instead, you're going to use Blinding Light and look for people with gold bars in their inventory. You can see all of these characters have bags of copper, right? Bags of copper. And again, you just run into a group of people, pull out your Blinding Light, and see if any of them have gold bars. If they do, you're going to pickpocket them, and I'll teach you how to do that here shortly when I find one. So I found one here. You can see this is what it looks like, and it is clearly gold bars in his pocket. All right, so here's how to rob people. Here's how to pickpocket them. You're going to put on the mask. Without the mask, it won't let you do it. And all you have to do, make sure your weapon is not drawn, bump into someone, just walk into them, and you'll push E. I don't know what it is on controller, and then you'll pickpocket them. So now, this guy's sitting down, so that is a problem. So we can't really bump into him because he's sitting. So yeah, that could be an issue. So this guy might not be pickpocketable. Well, we got him to stand up. So all we have to do is bump him. So he's standing. And I'm just pushing E on him, right? I'm just pushing E on him. We can maybe, like, that stuns him, so he might run now, and that's fine. We're just gonna bump into him. But since he's running, it might not work. And he's gonna run like forever. So this guy is pretty much like lost. Right? We could tackle him, but then that's assault, and then that's a big problem.
Fuck off.
All right, so I accidentally stole someone's bottle of wine. So whenever you pickpocket someone, there's a red line. All you gotta do is before the time limit ends, is just step out of the line, and then you're fine. And that's all there is to it. So let me find someone else to grab a gold bar from. All right, we got another one with a gold bar. This one right here, check him out. He's got gold bars. Put our weapon away, and we're just gonna walk into him and push E. So we bumped him, we pushed E, yoink, we got a gold bar acquired. And yeah, you'll notice the radius is a lot bigger because it's a gold bar. Alright, so we just step out of the radius and we're good. And there you go. And you can clearly see, boom, gold bar, 500 silver, just like that. And yes, we give these to the bank, that's 500 silver. Now, you can pickpocket the same person, but they won't have the same stuff. So this same guy we just pickpocketed, he's now got a coin purse instead of a gold bar. So yeah, big unfortunate. Also, if you leave the area, come back, load game, save game, come back, go to a fast travel, come back, it does refresh all of their inventories, right? So you can run through the whole park and check everybody, or you can just constantly, refresh the game. And yeah, some people will get scared of you flashing the blade like that. So if you don't want to do that, you can hold the lantern. You can hold the lantern up at people, but it doesn't have as good range, and it's a lot slower to check a whole group of people than it is using the blade. So I just like using the blade. And yeah, there is a range limit on this thing. You do have to kind of walk around with it and shine it, and you can start seeing people's inventories. Yeah, nothing but coin purses here. And the reason why this place is so good is because there's just so many NPCs. And it's not so much that they're nobles, that nobles have a % chance to have gold bar. It's that because there's so many people, that there's a higher % chance due to the larger amount of people to spawn a gold bar. It's not really these characters in particular, it's just that they're nobles. So when you go to a town, normally you'll just see like 1 or 2 nobles, but here there's like hundreds of them, so it just makes it a lot easier to farm gold bars this way. Alright, and yeah, some of these people, they get stunned, they get scared of the light, it's fine, don't worry about it too much. But yeah, just keep scouting for gold bars. We got ourselves another gold bar, this guy right here, just walking to him. Well, we gotta walk into him a little faster. There we go, pickpocket, yoink. And that time we didn't get the gold bar, we got wine. And so you don't always get it, even though his inventory showed he had gold bar. Well, we grabbed something else out of his pocket. And you can see the timer is it's pretty quick here. But I got fined 12 copper because I didn't get out of bounds in time. Oh no, 12 copper, right? But yeah, that's something you can pay off at the church or whatever. It's not a big deal. But you can also just triple jump and fly out of range. That would be technically quicker. Also, another tip for scouting: if you use the blinding sword and walk around, you'll notice you walk around a little slow. But if you jump and do it, now you can walk faster, twice as fast. So if you want, you can just hold this out and then walk into crowds. It's however you want to play the game, but you do have to be within a certain distance. You can see here, now I can see their inventories, and I'm not scaring off the guards every time I'm, pulling the sword out.
How could a creature's eyes be
you can just walk around, yoink gold bars. You don't need to, but you can. Anyway, make your way north. Here, I'll show you the map. There are hostiles nearby, so you gotta be careful. But this is where we're at. It is literally right next to this Pecos Ranch little building. We're gonna grab this fast travel. Now, it's pretty hard to get to the next one. It's pretty dangerous. And I generally don't even like using it, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna go west now. We're gonna line up our cursor from this waypoint and the E, and go about right there. So we're lined up to the E in Deminis. And we're lined up with our waypoint. So we're just going to travel west. And yeah, there are enemies, so just ride your horse. And we're going to go to an estate and steal, I think it's an earring? Yeah, it's an earring. It's a best in-slot earring. Now, these guys are hostile. And what we're going to do is do a little bit of stealth. Try to get up on the hill without making too much noise. And if you crouch, you can see the enemy sight lines on the map. And as long as they're not alerted, it's fine. But you want to jump over the fence either with your movement tech or right here in the middle where there's no spikes. Though the spikes tend to hit you anyway for some reason, because the game is coded funny. But hey, it didn't hit me that time. And we want to go up we want to climb up the window here to the second floor. And yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and climb up in this one right here. It doesn't really matter too much which window you use to access it. But I am facing west, so I'm on the eastern side of the building. Alright. And so here we are. Now we're in. And you could just mass steal things. You could also just take things because it doesn't count as stealing for whatever reason in this building if you want. But since I gave you the secret to getting gold bars, do you really need money at this point? Probably not. But I'm going to go ahead and crouch. We're going to exit through this door. And then we're going to go through another door here. And we are looking for a puzzle box. Oh, there's a guard. And yeah, you can kill these guys. They're not innocents. These are technically bad guys. So if you get into a fight, the best way is to hold block, let them hit you. Right? Come on, get in here. Let them hit you. And these are more dangerous enemies too, by the way. Okay, he's not going to strike first, so I'm just going to hit him. When he hits me, I can then right-click. There we go, and disarm him. And then I can just kill him. And because he has no shield, no sword, he can't block unarmed. So you can just hold left click until he's dead. And there you go, he's dead. So womp womp to him. But we're gonna go room to room until we find the lockbox. So here we are, and it's right in here. The big double door room, I suppose. Let's see, where am I at exactly? I'm right about there. And this would be considered the easternmost side. I don't know, but anyway, this is the strongbox puzzle, and it's not the easiest puzzle, but it's not too hard either. So you have 4 buttons. Whenever you push a button, it rotates the picture. Okay, and the goal is to have all the pictures line up. So we got, you know, there's 3 out of 4 there, but see, this one's gonna rotate those, and then this one's gonna rotate those. And so you kind of have to just finagle it until you get it, really. All right, there we go. We've got the picture lined up. That took me 20 seconds. You just mash buttons. I mean, you know, there's nothing to it, all right? Okay, and then that is the Witch's Earring. That is our best in-slot earring. And we have the Engraved Gold Earring, which is our other best in-slot. So our earring slot is done. This one's already pre-upgraded. It's got movement speed. It's got defense. It's got health every... 1 second. When you fully upgrade this will have 4 movement speed and I think 4 or 5 defense. I forget how much. But when you have 2 earrings, that's plus 8 movement speed. Really, really good. Now, there is a fast travel right there that we can grab, and we might as well grab it. So the way I like to do it is I just like to climb out of a window, climb on the roof, and then glide to it. That's my favorite way to do it. But if you walk out the front door, you're going to just get into a fight. And the enemies are pretty strong here. And we haven't really leveled up yet or done anything. But yeah. And also, I don't want to lean against the wall. If you just do a combat roll, that's the easiest way to get out the window. But sometimes you impale yourself on the fence doing that. So just be careful. But yeah, I'm just going to climb up to their roof and use it as a launch pad. That's going to be the easiest way to get there. You can also shine the light, and you can see... it's right over there, super close. So we can double jump now. Double jump into 3 palms, into glide, into slow-mo, into the speed dash. And we can just float right over to it. Alright. And then cancel momentum. Well, we're close enough. Also, there's just a guy there. He's just chilling, whatever. Alright, cool. And then that is another waypoint. Alright, we need to get another waypoint. We're going to line up with the left side of this elm. And kind of in the split between the 2 blue blobs there. And just put a point there. That's our next fast travel waypoint. And it's pretty treacherous to get there. So we're going to make a safety save. Summon your horse. And horse our way there. Again, lots of enemies. Lots of pitfalls. It's a brutal one. But once we get there, it'll all be worth it. Alright, so I found the waypoint, and it's guarded by some bros, like, ooh. Also, yeah, one of those is an elite. You can see if you see a red spiky dot on your minimap, that means it's an elite, and yeah, they see me. So, the best you can do is just hold block on the waypoint and let it sink in. And then let them kill you. Okay, I don't know if we got it. It kind of sounds like well, maybe. But yeah, again, no, we did not get it, so... Maybe we can chase them away, or lead them away and then fly back. And yeah, they're gonna shoot arrows and stuff at you too, so. Alright, let's get our stamina back, and then we're gonna take flight. Right. And then just try to get back. Well, I didn't get it. And by the way, when you respawn, there is gonna be hostiles near you, like this freaking little... I don't know what this guy is, but he had a pitchfork. So yeah, just take him out, whatever. Reed Devil. Cool. But yeah, not the Reed Devil of Chapter 3, by the way. But yeah, just keep trying until you get this waypoint. Once you get the waypoint, line up your cursor with the right side of the elm and go pretty far up, like about here. And there is an estate we need to rob. Alright, I was damn close. We're looking for the Windmere Manor. Now, this is another area that is hostile, so we have to sneak in through a window. So the best approach is from the north facing south. That way there's no guards back here, there's no patrols. And yeah, again, this whole area is hostile and the enemies are high level and dangerous. They're not the highest level, but they're, you know, they kick our ass right now. I hate that the open window button and the release button is the same button. There we go. Yeah, get your butt in there. And there's another strongbox puzzle that we need to solve. This one is easier, though. And I'll show you that. We just have to find the strongbox. So, again, you could rob everything in this place, but it's whatever. So, we're just going to wander around until we find it. I'm going to go into this room here. And it's on the second floor, so there it is. And this is the lockbox. I'll show you how the puzzle works and how the easier way to solve it. Alright, so you'll notice... I don't really have a way to... okay, I don't... no, yeah, there's my mouse cursor. Okay, you can see here, this piece... there's like a border. You see how like that's a border, this red chunk is a border. It's a little hard to see because the lighting sucks, but like that's a border. So what we want to do is we want to select a fragment, my bad, and then rotate it so that the border lines up. So you can see right now the top here, there's that red line, and that is the border. So just go to each piece and line up the border. You can rotate it left or right to just make sure that you get it there. Awesome. So now we're going to rotate this one so that the border matches the bottom. Rotate this one. We'll have to rotate this one twice. There we go. Once and twice. And once you have the border completed, just fix the middle and, you know, give the whale its belly. And there you go. That's the solution. And again, you have to be wearing a mask because this is considered stealing. So there we go. And steal, and that is the Mark of Darkness ring. That is the best in slot ring. The other ring we need is the Witch's ring, but you get that in a Chapter 9 story as a reward, as a main story quest reward. So there we go. Just plop that on, and yeah, awesome. If you got any gold bars, then go ahead and deposit them into your bank. There we go. Let's see how much our money has grown. You can see that, well, in 8 hours. That's 8 in-game hours. Our bar will change, but we can go ahead and deposit a gold bar. There we go. Boom. All right, total deposit 1,000 silver. So if we want to change if we want to save scum this, we absolutely can. But because we can farm gold bars easy, there's really no reason to. It's too much work for very little payoff. The payoff is good when you have a whole lot of money. Then you can just get infinite money, but it's whatever. Alright, so before we can make fights with bandits and guards and everything super easy in this game, we do have to push the main story just a little bit more so we can unlock focus when we're standing on the ground, that is. So we're going to go ahead to this Lioncrest watchtower, and before you go, if you want, you can use this grind wheel. That'll give you a little bit more attack power, but at this point, you know, you shouldn't really need this, but it's just nice to do. Now, for missions like this that require you to kill bandits, even if you kill like 1 or 2 and then die, it still saves your progress that you killed that many. So you'll notice on the left side of the screen there is a 100% progress bar, kind of in the middle. Now, as I kill bandits, that number will go down, and these guys have really crappy gear, so I'm not even going to bother disarming. But you can see I killed a few there, and that percent keeps going down. So if I die, that percent will stay down, and I can just come back, and there's no real penalty for death. So, again, you can just sit here and fight them in a doorway if you're not confident. You can just hold block until you get close to them, and then you know, after they attack, you can just do your turning slash, and your turning slash is uninterruptible except for heavy attacks. So there you go. Again, this is a pretty easy fight, but we don't have the abilities to just wipe them out in a few attacks or in one big flurry of attacks. So just hold left click on them. You don't have to worry about looting them either. Their gear, their drops all suck, so don't worry about it. Just to clear them out, and again, it's a main story mission, so you gotta do it anyway at some point. So the game wants you to use an arrow and hold it over the fireplace to shoot the leaves off. Well, that's stupid. You don't need to do that. Just blinding light, hold your focus light key, and light the leaves on fire that way. You can still do this even if it's nighttime. It doesn't matter what time of day it is. It'll still burn everything anyway. And yeah, once it burns, you can go inside, and there's some random loot you can grab along the way, but a lot of it's pretty garbage. There's also booby traps, and about booby traps. If I trigger this, a saw blade comes out of the wall, right? Like, oh no. Oh, a saw blade, oh dang. It can kill you, but it's not gonna like one-shot you. You can just cut the wire, and then it'll never trigger. Alright, so there you go. You can just, again, cut the wire. Now, in that case, I bumped into it before cutting it, so it's fine. But yeah, there's random chests, there's random loot on the walls. If you want to grab it, you can, but at this point, you don't really need money anymore. You can go farm gold bars if you need money, but you do want to look at the swords and make sure that there's no Sidman swords, in which case there is one right here. So we definitely want the Sidman sword, because that is our ticket to early upgrades and more power. Now, one thing in this room you have to loot is the Visione, which is a weird storytelling helmet that you're prompted to put on and relive memories of characters. So, yeah, the game will explain what this is. I don't need to. It's not very gamey. It's just kind of storyline dribble. Oh, and you don't have to equip this thing every time. There's a button you can prompt that'll just take it on and put it off when you need to. But the game does force you to equip it, so make sure you put your bunny helmet back on. Oh, and by the way, there's a hole in the roof, so climb up, and there's some more loot to be had up top here as well. A lot of people miss this. I'll be watching streamers, and they get the Visione, and then they just go back to playing the game, and it's like, bro, there's more stuff up top you should go grab. Also, I tried to jump from a high place and kill my character, and I landed in the quest area, and it didn't kill me, so that's funny. Alright, so after you follow the cats, you can now learn Nature's Grasp to pick up heavy objects. Now, it looks like he's going to pick it up for us, but not really. You still have to technically do it. Now, this is where we learn how to focus, alright? And this is going to unlock one of our more powerful, just general bandit killing abilities. But, yeah, we're just going to go ahead and now you can focus and you can regenerate your spirit very easily. But hey, remember this puzzle? So this one's a bit different. You punch the buttons on the walls, and it will, the goal is to light them all up, obviously. So we can go ahead and punch this one, and then we can just, well, middle, left, and then right is the solution. It's a very basic puzzle, but that's going to give us a skill point and a fast travel, which is a pretty useful fast travel, actually. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and grab this now. There we go. Awesome. And then it says to approach the child again. So we're going to go ahead and clear that up. But there's a little bit of farming to be done in this area. It's very niche farming, but it's worth doing. Alright, so the map updates now at this point in the game. There are more bandits than ever combing the map. And what you want to do is you want to save, because we're going to be farming trees here for a special club. So what you're going to do is, I like to check the right side first, but you're going to go, it's easier in first person mode, just look at the trees. And we are looking for beehives. Alright? So I'll show you what that looks like when I find one here. Let's see. We're checking trees. No beehives. And yeah, I meant to jump, not punch the wall. Anyway. Let's check these trees up here real quick. And no beehives. Right? So we might have to we might have to reload the area, but there's still a few more trees just kind of in the vicinity. And so since none of them had beehives, also can't teleport at current state. Come on, stop walking forward. And let me teleport. When you teleport, it reloads the area, and then we'll check the trees again. Alright, so there is a beehive in this tree, and in my thorough testing, the only way to get the beehive club to spawn, it's completely random, it's RNG. you don't want to break the beehive. You want to chop the tree, and you can turning slash to chop it, and that's going to drop the beehive, and you're just going to loot where it dropped. So right now I got beehive, grasshopper, right? So that was not it. It'll say beehive club. Also, there's oakwood mushrooms here. Those aren't the best mushrooms, so you don't need to grab those. Again, I'll show you where to get better mushrooms later. But what you're going to do is you're going to look at the trees, look for beehives, and look, there's one in there, but this is a blue zone. Notice that the text of the zone is blue, meaning you can't do any attacks. But if you get it just right, where you can draw your weapon, and then you can maybe like turning slash right as you enter the blue zone, you can kind of chop the tree that way. It's a little tricky, but we can get it. Okay, I didn't get it that time. Also, this tree to my right has 2 beehives, so that is a double chance. But again, because it's near the blue little zone, the little quest story zone, it's hard to get sometimes. All right, we got, well, it's just picking peonies out of the ground, which we don't want to do. But again, just hold your use button near where the beehives dropped, and hope you get a club. All right, because we're gonna. You don't need it. It's just purely overkill. All right, it makes you as strong as possible, which is what I promised at the start of the video. And this thing it's a boss killer weapon. It is the strongest weapon you can get early. But nope, that one didn't drop one either. Now, if you broke like about 5 to 6 beehives, don't just keep going back to the waypoint. Instead, load your game, because the game, the way it saves the state of, it doesn't want you infinitely farming beehives for honey, and so it won't spawn any more beehives. So what you want to do is once you loot about 5 to 6 beehives, and there's no more on the trees in the area, just load game so it resets the spawns. Alright, and here it is. This is the beehive. I'm going to throw away this fly, but this is the beehive club. Now, this is, ignore the attack damage, but notice it has a temporary durability. So what this does is, how come I can't see, like, the status on it? It normally shows, like, a status. A club with the beehive impaled on a stick. Bees sleep inside the hive. When an enemy is struck, they awaken and swarm out. So this is a damage over time weapon. When you hit an enemy with it, they will take about 500 or more points of health damage. And I know there's not really damage values in this game, but I used a helmet that you can get later that shows health bars, and I compared it. This thing does a ton of damage to boss enemies and humanoids. It does not work against elementals and some animals. I guess because their hide is too thick, I don't know. But regardless, this thing melts early and mid-game bosses like no one's business. So you can always chop down trees and smash beehives into the ground, but this area is one of the easiest to do it in. And getting this early just makes boss fights a cinch. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go learn a skill, and it's a little hard to judge where it's at. It's kind of like right there, but we're going to teleport to this Abyss Crescent over near the Haunted Hill in, northwestern Hernand, and we'll go get it. Oh, and by the way, the bee club, you cannot repair it, so don't make it your active weapon. We're only using it on boss fights if we need to. I personally don't need to, but you might. It's just one of those cool weapons that just melts things. Alright, so here's the location. I was a little off on my marking. It's, like, find this little river thing and then go west a bit. Just go to the middle of this question mark, and there'll be an Abyss Crescent, but there will be a guy here doing some, magic, right? So we're going to observe it. And this is Nature's Snare. While you're focusing, you can, basically block projectiles, so that's pretty cool, right? And so obviously it wants us to do that for the puzzle here. Alright, so here's the solution to the puzzle. You see this little thing right here? You're just going to use your new ability on it. Pretty simple. And that's going to spin it, and you just spin it until it's no longer in the water, like so. There we go. Pretty cool, right? Alright, there we go, and then we can cancel. And then what that did is another one will pop out nearby. There it goes, it's sinking back in now. Awesome. And that drains some of the water. And now there's another one to go spin. You just have to run around the puddle and find it. It may be a little hard to see, but it's right over here, so we're just going to do the same thing. Just climb over to it. Now, make sure you don't drown yourself, but we're going to get in the shallow part right here. Do the same thing. Focus up, and then Nature's Snare. And then this one will also spin and drain the water. And that's pretty much it. There we go. Takes a little bit. It's kind of time consuming. Oh. I've never had it do that. That is an industrial accident? Yeah, that's what that is. Oh boy. I wonder if that messed it up. No, it's still right there on the surface. Fun times. By the way, if you want to prevent accidents, because I have died doing this, don't hold the right click button or your attack button. Instead, all you have to do when you're near it is like normally when you're doing it, you have to hold the right click, right? And then when you let go of right click, you'll stop doing it. But if you hold right click, you will just attack into it while it's spinning, and then you get blended up. So yeah, we're just going to once we see that start rotating, let go of your right click so you don't accidentally attack into it and get flung everywhere. Oh, and if you still can't figure out the puzzle, you have to lift the second one up twice to fully drain the water. Now with that, you should have enough skill points so we can learn our combat ability. So you're going to go over to focus, alright, and then we are going to level that to 2. And then to level it to 3 takes 2 artifacts. Alright, there we go. So we have focus level 3. So now you can push left click while you're in a focus state, and you can push everything away. And you can also face incoming attacks while you're focused and counter them with your block button. So it makes boss fighting really easy. If you want to do like a parry thing, you don't really need to for most. But for some, you might need it for the learning stages. But with that, you can now come over here and learn Blinding Flash Finisher for 1 Abyss artifact. And this thing is absolutely goated, alright? Because what happens is, when you are using your Blinding Sword ability, you can hold left click and right click, and you will do this super crazy combo that hits super fast and AoEs everything onto their ass. And this is how we're going to be hunting animals more efficiently. This is how we're going to be clearing out lots of bandits more efficiently. It makes things very, very easy for us. But also, this will probably get patched, but I'll show you anyway, okay? There is movement tech with this ability, and again, they like to patch this stuff. It might not exist by the time you see this. All right, but if we double jump and then we, pump 3 times, we enter flight mode, we shine our sword, and then we left and right click right when we do it. It's a little hard to do, but okay, it doesn't seem to be working here. Let me try again. So let's do a regular jump or a double jump, shine sword. Yeah, there we go. So you double jump into sword shine into the left and right click, or the Blinding Flash Finisher as you want to call it, and that will rocket you forward, okay? You don't get to maintain the sprint anymore. You used to be able to maintain the sprint, but look at that. So we can do like this super dash, right? Like if we need to chase these guys, well, in that case we entered the attack state. But if we need to dive at them, look at that. We just power slid across the area. So, again, it's a tech you could use. But in this case, let me get some spirit. Like, if we want to fight these goats, we can blind, and then we could just do this, and we will just knock all of them in a big area of effect on their butts. And while they're down, you can chop them up and do whatever. So it makes hunting super just effortless. Alright, now we're going to go back to town, and we're going to store everything, sell the slop, and we're going to do a boss fight, and then that's going to unlock a better chest armor for us to wear. Now, at this point, what you should do is if you have any more Abyss artifacts, you're going to dump it into health, and so we're going to enhance. That's 1, that's, okay, it plays a cutscene, I don't care. Alright, and then that's 2, and then cutscene again. Now, it's going to ask for 2 points this time, which I don't have. But our health did go from, what, 300, I believe, to, yeah, 450. So that is a 50% increase in overall health. Alright. And before we do our next steps here, we're going to use the Grindstones so that we can get a little bit more power. There we go. That's going to juice up our weapons. And then we need to juice up our armor, too. So you're going to go to this Abyss Crescent that's northwest of town. And we're going to do a little bit of traveling to get to an anvil. And then you're going to go to this place on the map. This is called Torchlight Beacon. So it is from the Abyss Crescent. You just go northwest. You will have to climb a mountain to get here. But it's the closest one. And there is an anvil in the camp that you can use right here. Just walk up to the anvil, hit repair. And this will bolster or massively increase the defense of your armor, alright? So you can see here, let me show you what our gear looks like now that it's been grindstoned and enhanced. We have our Sidman's Sword +5 attack, we have our chest armor +5 defense, gloves +2, helmet +3, and so on. So our shield doesn't get enhanced, unfortunately. Neither does the cape. But also, you know, we have this tier 2 Sidman's Sword equipped. I need to equip the tier 1. There we go. Also, we need to combine these two tier 2 swords into a tier 3 sword, and then we can dual wield them. You might or might not have this, and that's fine. But we're going to form a bunch of these swords in just a little while. I'm going to go ahead and take both of these tier 3s and then combine them to a tier 4. And you'll notice it's going to start costing Abyss artifacts to upgrade past tier 4. And we need to upgrade to tier 10, alright? But we're not going to spend early Abyss artifacts on upgrades. That would be silly. We need that for our character, for stamina, unlocks, new abilities, and so on. And we're going to farm that too, don't worry. It's very easy to farm those. But we need to advance the story just a little bit more before we do so. Also, a fun fact, after you refine a piece of equipment, it does lose its enchantment. So you'll notice that the sword here is not buffed for damage. But luckily, there's a grindstone right next to the smithy, so you can just use that again, whatever. But just be aware, if you go to an anvil and then reinforce your armor and then you go upgrade it, you lose the anvil buff, so you have to go back and get it again. So I recommend that you not only save your game at this point, but you also make a backup save in a different slot, in case you ever want to use this as practice or as like a nice starting point for a new game, without having to run around and get all the waypoints and get all the gear again. But what you're going to do in town is you're going to walk up to Matthias here, and Matthias wants to fight. He wants to duke it out. So if you are brand new to this game, I recommend that you use this boss fight as practice. He has 2 phases, and it's an okay fight. It's actually really easy once you've learned the game. But if you've been struggling on bandits, you're dying a bunch to enemies that aren't the overleveled ones, this is a really good fight just to start getting a feel for the game, the controls, how the fighting works. It's just a nice, good fight. Now, of course, if you're struggling, my advice would be keep fighting him until you can just clear him, no problem. But if you really need to cheese it, this guy dies in a single hit to your Beehive club, so that's why we got it. In case you just need that handicap, that crutch. Now, you don't want to kill him too fast, alright? Because you want him to do a double kick attack on us. So just sit here and hold block, and look at him. Dude, he's such a tank, he just destroyed that post by walking through it. Anyway, so he has a very limited moveset, but we just want him to kick us twice in the chest. Go ahead and parry that, whatever. Parry that. And he'll eventually run at us and do a kick attack. And then we can learn it from him and use it. So here it comes. So just let him do it. Just let him do the pump kick. And now that he's done it to us, we're on our ass. Now that we have that skill, we can take him out. So here's the easy way to beat Matthias. Use your blinding sword, and then do your combo. And that's like half his health bar. And then you can follow up with, you know, light attacks. He'll block some of those. You can do heavy attacks. You can do turning slash. But he has absolutely no chance against us. Also, you got to run back to the arena here, and you're gonna kind of get used to these camera controls. There we go. Flip him over the shoulder like an idiot.
Defend yourself.
Oh, nice whip, dude. Also, I don't know if this still works, but in this cutscene, you could also learn the pump kick, but I'm not really sure. I'm not sure if that's still a thing. But yeah, here's a second phase. We can do a turning slash on him. There we go. That's like most of his health. Blinding sword into our combo. Again, the dude is just absolutely easy. But now here's a fun kicker. Hold on. Let me switch attacks here. Not enough spirit. Okay, let's focus up. Yeah, he's going to hit me here. And just block that because we're focusing. Remember, when we're focusing, we can block, right? Because we learned that skill. And right? It's very easy to use that. But we're going to go into our force palm, and then we're going to healing force palm. And look at that. I healed them up so we can keep the fight going, right? Isn't that cool? Now, you can't heal yourself this way, but you can heal yourself with food. And we're going to learn how to do that in just a little bit. But let's get him to approach so we can heal him once again. Now he's full health. Or at least in this form, he's full health. And you can pump kick him if you want. You can just ba-ba, right? You can do all sorts of things. If you learned wrestling moves at this point, you can do some wrestling moves. right? So he's gonna kick me, but we're gonna parry, and then we can grab him, right? There's a whole lot of fun stuff that we can do here. Just throw his ass in the audience. Get the hell out of here. You could again, you could try all sorts of different moves on him if you want. You can get your bow out and shoot him a bit, which he can block, right? We can also try to disarm him. All right, let's try to disarm him. And no, it doesn't work because he's a boss, right? So that's fun. Now, you can also try to hold him hostage. Oh, I didn't mean to stab that guy, my bad. So that was a shield charge. But if we do a stab into a grab, which that did not work. Stab into grab. No, he just gets knocked on his ass. There we go. We grabbed him, and then we just stabbed him in the gut. Look at that. Used to in the first patch, if you tried to grab him and stab, it would not work. But yeah, this fight's super easy. It's pretty cool. I think it's a cool fight. And if you're wondering about the Beehive Club, you hit him once with it, and that takes all of his health away. He cannot stand against the damn bees, alright? But yeah, after that, you can approach the guy. And by the way, this chick here, this is... I forget her name, but she's one of the characters you can play as later. Alright, after the Matthias fight, we're going to continue the main story, and it wants us to clear out bandits. Super simple. We're going to teleport nearby, and then drop down from the cliffs. Easy peasy. Don't forget to summon your dog, because these guys get cleared out pretty quick, and once you clear it, the loot's gone. But the loot isn't that great. We're going to be farming these same types of enemies later. And again, what you want to be doing is you just blinding flash into your combo, and you just absolutely massacre bandits now like they're nothing. Alright, so there you go. You can see I'm already at 25% done. And again, this attack, you can, even though it says it uses like 5 or 10 spirit per attack, even if you have a minimum 5 spirit, you can still pull off the entire full combo. So again, just run at the enemies, they'll be stunned from the blinding light, you know, pop your combo, and that's it. That is how easy bandits are. It's so easy now. After that, we have to do a bunch of little crappy quests where we go to the notice board, and yeah, there is 4 different things you have to grab. This is super tedious, but like grab the missing cows, and then you have to look at it, and you have to hold Alt, and there we go. That's quest number 1. And then again, just do this for everything that the game is telling you to do. It's very tedious. Alright, so what you'll see now is we have story quest 1, 2, 3, and 4. All of these giving medium bags. And that's why we're doing them, because we need that inventory space. And at any point, like what I like to kind of just do them randomly. Like I'll start over here, do these 2. Come over here, do this one. We have the, this is a side quest. We need to do this one at some point, but there's no rush. And then this one. And again, it's just go to the area and do what the game tells you. There's nothing confusing or complicated. It's just go to the quest marker, kill the bandits, do the thing. You don't need me to walk your hand through this. You're more than powerful enough to take these on. These are very minor baby quests anyway. By the way, if you didn't get a tench yet, you can go right up here to, this is the Rodbell Fishing Dock, and the vendor will sell you a tench that can save you some time for a later quest. But yeah, continue the main story. Now I'm at the part where it's the Flames of Greed, and we have fast travels that are super close to this. These quests are very easy to get to. So now, continue the main story quest until you get to this part that says Defeat Hornsplitter. This is the Chapter 2 final boss. We don't want to beat him yet because Chapter 3 opens up the game world and changes things, and we have some more stuff to do before we get to this. So instead, we're going to do some more side quests here. We have speak with Eric at Blue Mountain Manor. We don't want to advance this one either yet, all right? So again, don't do Troubled Count yet, and don't do Cheers Echoing from the Edge. Once you're back in Hernand, you're going to go to the notice board, and you'll go to Annabelle's poster, and this is technically the fishing gathering side quest with the tench. There we go, and we'll go ahead and examine that. There we go, Annabelle the Saddler and Hernand, and that's going to mark your map, or it's supposed to. If it doesn't, go to Journal. Go to Faction Quests, and then we'll find it there. Let's see. Annabelle's Request. Put an X on it. And again, we're doing this for the medium bag, not to learn how to fish or anything. So we're going to go right here up top to Annabelle and talk to her. And to get the quest started, you have to go up to her, hold Alt, push Listen to Request. There you go. Now, if you've already got a tench, then the quest will update. But if not, which, because mine is in storage, it tells you to go up here to this part of the world to fish one out, which there will always be a tinge there to grab, which means the world spawned one for you for free. So you can go grab it if you want. So I just swam straight into the water and held my use button and grabbed it. There is no need to actually use a fishing pole for any sort, alright? So yeah, anytime you need a fish, just jump in the water and yoink them out. Now there is a fishing minigame, and it's really cumbersome and it's slow, it's really annoying and it sucks. But the basics for fishing, because I don't know, do I even have a fishing pole in my inventory? Yeah, I do. I can go ahead and teach you how to fish, I suppose. Alright, we're going to equip the fishing pole. It's one of the tools. Or I thought, no, it's down here. There it is. Alright, cool. We have to stow the weapon, though. Alright. Fishing rod. Let's go. It is not letting me pull it out for some reason. Okay, so a patch changed it. It is now your use bow button, because the fishing rod takes place where your bow would go. Alright, so yeah, your bow normally goes there. Grey Wolf bow, Becker bow, etc. Fishing rod. So push your aim button. For me, it's control, whatever you rebound it to. There we go. Now we're going to hold left click and cast it out. There we go. So the game doesn't fully explain fishing, but I'm going to explain it for you. And what happens is whenever something bites, we're going to push a button to, like, hook it. And then we have to move our A and D keys in the direction opposite of where the fish is going, but we will not be using the mouse scroll wheel down to reel it in until the bubbles or the splashing stops. If you try to reel it in while it's splashing, it will break the line, okay? Yeah, this does take a little bit, but there we go. There's a noise, and the game will prompt you when you need to push a button. So even though there was a noise, we have to wait for the bite. You can see the little fish there swimming to it right now. Hook, I'm going to push right click. Now I'm holding S, hold A for left. And yeah, it's still getting away. We're holding S and A right now. Now the bubbles, the splashing stopped. I'm just gonna reel it in with the mouse wheel down. I didn't have to hold any of my directional keys or anything of the sort. And that is how you officially catch a fish. No, I don't really need this yellow bass, so I'm just gonna throw him back in. See you later, buddy. Sorry for the mouth pain, but yeah, that's how to fish. And again, it's way easier just to jump in the water and hold the use key and grab them with your bare hands. It's way easier. Especially later if you stack a bunch of swim speed items, then you can zip around the water super quickly and just yoink up all the fish. Also, you don't go back to Annabelle to turn in the quest, you go down here to her assistant and turn it in. Yeah, all these characters and their damn assistants. Alright, there we go. We have turned in the quest, and we have inventory +3 expansion slots. So now our inventory, we have 100 slots instead of the paltry, like, 60 that we start the game with. Also, she gave us a dried fish. It's whatever. But now is the time that we're going to go grind for a bunch of skill points. And it sounds miserable, but it's not really. It's pretty cool. Also, you've been getting Abyss artifacts as you've been killing bandits, doing the main story quest, and yada yada yada. So we do need to spend some of those, alright? So we want to beef up health. It's going to cost 2, so I'm going to go ahead and beef up health. There we go. And skip cutscene. And then health still costs 2. We're going to beef it up again. There we go. Now you'll notice if we try to level health further, it's going to cost 3. So we're good now for health, but right now our health is now 600. This is double of what you started the game with. Now for bandit grinding, we don't need heal items because if you die, you just respawn and keep fighting. There is no penalty for death in this game. So in order to grind, we're going to go over here to the Karen Quarry, and the cool thing is that as long as we never ever kill the boss, this thing is infinitely grindable. The boss is located right there, I believe. I'm pretty sure that's where the boss is, so we don't go there. We're going to go right into here, so I'm going to put a waypoint marker there. I'm going to fast travel over, and you don't need to buff your armor first. You don't need to do the grindstone. If you do, you're going to lose those buffs very quickly early on in the grind, alright? And now, let me unequip this fishing pole. We don't want that, and we don't really need or plan to use the bow. I also don't need the mask on either, so go ahead and take that off. But yeah, we're pretty much all set. We don't need to upgrade our gear before this grind. We can upgrade our gear after. All right, trust me, it's just easy. These guys don't really hit all that hard, but yeah, so there is our marker. That's the quarry. Remember, we went there at the start of the game when it was nice and passive and friendly? Well, it's not friendly anymore. It's full of bandits and bad guys. Isn't that fun? Look at all them red shirts, right? Okay, and so my favorite spot to grind is actually right here at the triangle, or right here at this triangle. That one's closer, so we'll go to that triangle first, and that's because enemies just constantly respawn. It's near some big buildings, but you can see there's just a bunch of red dots around. Now, the one way to do this is at first, and this is what I recommend, is you'll see, now some of these are non-hostiles. We only are interested in the hostile ones. What you want to do is you want to, you know, let them hit you, right-click them while blocking. Also, I need my dog out. Let's get the dog out. Who let the dogs out? I did. Alright, and the dog is going to, you know, loot that weapon that dropped. There we go. And what we do is we want to get a bunch of Becker bows and Sidmund swords. So, there we go. Go ahead and knock that bow. Knock. Well, we did it too slow there. Alright, there we go. Knock that dude. And then that guy's punching. That one's got a sword, though, and a shield. Again, all of this is loot that we can sell and grab for ourselves. So we just need to square up with him, let him swing. Boink, there he goes. See you later. How about this guy? Yep. And then knock everything out of their hands. Then we blinding light here into combo. And you're just gonna rinse and repeat that until you have a whole lot of Sidmund swords. There we go. Our doggo just picked one up for us. And again, we'll grab this guy now. Now you'll notice there's a big like crosshair on the map. That is actually a map objective. That would be the infirmary. It wants us to break this. It wants us to smash this building. And by doing so, if we destroy this building, it will massively decrease the % required to conquer the area. But the area will never be conquered until we kill the boss. So, that would be Marini's Excavatron. Whatever. You get the idea. So, we're not going to do the objectives, we're not going to kill the buildings, we're just going to farm the bandits. And we're going to farm their items first, then just kill them, and let the doggo loot everything. And the doggo will loot the corpses. There we go. All their items just went flying. And remember, and then once everyone's disarmed, again, you can just do your combo, right? Also, random people will come help you fight. And I don't know, oh, the dog picked up a shovel, so it's giving me the shovel tutorial. That's fun. But your inventory is going to fill up pretty quickly here, and that's a good guy. He's helping me kill the bandits, right? And you can also manually loot the bandits. Also, there will be random, like, slave people that you will randomly rescue, and you will get a reputation with Hernand for doing that. It's pretty nice, right? So, anyway, let's move on to that triangle. That one's a little bit better, I think. That way you just get constant respawns, and there's champions that are also lurking over here, and just more mobs. Now let me explain how. I want to show you. Just in that little fight we did, we got an artifact. Okay, that means we got an upgrade. Okay, so the way it works is to the left of our mini map there is an experience bar. Now there's a small little yellow blip. Now when I kill all these guys, see how that yellow bar is starting to get bigger? Yeah. So that means the more we grind here and the more bandits that we kill, the more XP we're getting, and every time that yellow bar fills up, then the more skill points we get. Alright, I'm out of spirit at the moment. Also, you will get attacked and eventually killed. You'll eventually hit a point where you hit an explosion barrel and die. Also, these guys have these mining drill arms. That is the best mining equipment in the game, and you need to upgrade your mining drill arm in order to mine more and stronger ores. So always disarm the guys with the drill arms, okay? But yeah, I need more Becker bows, because that's our best in slot bow. So I gotta disarm the bow guys, and just let the sword guys beat on you. Alright. Again, it's a bit of a process, but once you get it farmed up and everything's upgraded, the rest of the game is smooth sailing, and you don't have to worry about it anymore. You don't have to manually go mine a bunch of materials to get your upgrades to, like, you know, tier 6, tier 7, or whatever. But yeah, just keep grinding, and yes, my HP is low when I die. I get to keep all the loot that I've grabbed. I lose 0 progress. I don't lose XP or anything. And so there's no downside to dying at all. Yeah, the problem when you die is you don't get to loot everything that's on the ground, so what? Just kill more bandits. Alright, so these are all bow guys, right? There we go. And doink. And then just kill them. There we go. Easy. And then get this guy doinked. Oh, he pulled out an axe. I don't need an axe. Sorry, you just get killed. I don't need to disarm you. Alright, bow guys. Yeah, he's vaulting over the table of cloth. Yeah. Alright. And there we go. Free bow for me. Death for you. Thanks for the loot, sucker. Now, they could easily patch this where every time you kill a bandit, they drop their weapon, but they won't do that. It would be way too much stuff cluttering the ground in fights. Alright, got a bow guy there. Knocked it out of his hand. Go ahead and kill him. And you can also loot them as you go. I did it too early. I did a perfect parry. There we go. Let him hit the shield first. And then we just kill him. Now, when your inventory fills up, obviously you go back to base, you store things. Look, my inventory is 71 out of 100. And we have a lot of swords here that we can sell. Sidman swords are what we're going to keep so we can upgrade. And yeah, it's good money, it's easy money. And you can see, I'm already halfway to the next level, to the next skill point. So, just sit here and grind it out as much as you want. Now, if you've been wondering how come we haven't upgraded our shield yet, and the answer is simple, right? We've been waiting on the Sidman Kite Shield. This is also a light shield. So you can tell if a shield is light or heavy based on the block animation. So when you hold Alt, if you left click, if it's a heavy shield, you will do an overhead stab. Whereas if it's a light shield, you will just do a forward slash. Alright? So light shields are the only way to disarm. And because the kite shields are very common here, this is what we're going to be just mass combining and upgrading. So once your inventory fills up, kind of like mine did, it's time to go back to base and combine all the Becker bows and all of your shields and all of your Sidman swords that you should have, and get your gear rolling. Now, what I recommend that you do is that you grind out until you have enough Abyss artifacts to make everything tier 5. So I have a tier 4 sword. It's going to require an Abyss artifact. If I do refined materials, I have to get iron, copper, bloodstone, and an Abyss artifact. But because I have an extra tier 4 Sidman sword, I can just use same equipment and pay the tier 4 sword and the Abyss artifact. And the reason we stopped there at tier 5 is because in order to make a tier 4 sword, or we would need 2 Abyss artifacts to make duplicates, and then at that point it's just better just to get the iron, copper, and bloodstone instead. Also, another reason is that tier 5 is one of the main breakpoints for a lot of equipment to get bonus stats, like on earrings, rings, necklace, etc. Oh, and while you're in town, let's update that armor. Also, we forgot to buy iron ore from Rhett and copper ore. We're going to need a lot of those. But we're going to buy, after the Matthias fight, you can actually buy the Canta plate armor. And once we upgrade this is best in slot for chest. There's a lot, it's a very duplicate armor. Most plate armors are best in slot. They all have the same defense values, the same slots, etc. Alright, so, but yeah, all this other stuff we don't need. Alright, we're pretty much, you know, good up. But that does replace our leather armor. And we can soup up our Canta plate armor. The thing is, you can only, like, buy one of these once a week, and I don't really think they drop anywhere else, so I wish there was a plate armor I could just farm mobs with and upgrade that way, but, you know, whenever you get a chance, go to the smithy, and you do want to upgrade it. Again, this is, like, 3 iron, which isn't much, so, yeah. Your chest armor and your weapons are priority 1. Also, the bandits drop fleece and cloth pieces, so you can refine your cape as well. Alright, I've grinded out 11 more special, you know, abyssals. And so, what we're going to do now is we're going to get our combat kind of in check. And then after that, we can spend the rest of the game dumping into stamina and health, and maybe into spirit a little bit. But we need to learn Nature's Echo, and that requires Keen Senses level 3 and forward slash level 3. So we're going to start with forward slash. It's already level 1, so that's 1 Abyss artifact, and then 2, so that's done. Alright, and now we're going to go to Keen Senses. That's level 1 already, so now it's level 2 and level 3. Awesome. So, what Nature's Echo does is it creates another version of you when you do certain attacks. So, the first one is your forward slash, or your right click. Your second level is your spinning slash. Now, because we're attacking with 2 swords, and it attacks twice, now with the illusion, that's gonna double it, alright? And then finally you have Echoing Stab. So we don't really need Echoing Stab, though you can learn it if you want, but I'm just going to crank this to level 2. So that's 1 point. Now it also requires Spinning Slash level 2 and 2 artifacts for the next level. Alright, so there we go. Let's back out here. And Acquisition needs Keen Senses level 3 / level 3. We've already done that part. But Spinning Slash level 2. Our Spinning Slash is not level 2, so let's hit to level 2. Even though we technically have the ability we learned from the, one of the training camps, we still have to level it anyway. Bummer, I know, but we need that Echo for Spinning Slash. It's so good. Alright. And then to level this to 3, which we don't need to do because it's a charge. It's not a regular stab, it's a charged stab, which would be an opener. So it's something you would use once in a fight. Is 3 Abyss artifacts, and we only have the 1. So yeah, we're gonna go, we can farm some more and boost up our health and our stamina more. Having a lot of stamina really helps get around the world, but our combat is now pretty much squared away. So essentially, whenever we do the Spinning Slash, you can see that the Echo comes out and does 1. There we go. And because we're dual wielding, it's dual wielding, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And so if we go 1, 2, 3, 4, if I, the Echo just copies it. So generally what you do is 2 Spinning Slashes into heavy slashes, and there you go. So yeah, now these guys are just absolutely toast, right? So again, you can just Spinning Slash them and they will die super quick. And heavy slash, the Echo will heavy slash them. But yeah, you can just whirlwind around now and just kill things. Now obviously, oh that's not a bandit. Now obviously you can also just do this. Unfortunately, this does not get echoed, but it's for boss fights. We spec that out mainly so we could just absolutely delete bosses. It maximizes our DPS. All that's left is to beef up the swords as much as possible. And again, like for these guys, again, just do this and then now you may be wondering, but no, there's another way to max DPS, and that is this, armed combat. It says when you level it up more, it increases the damage of your melee weapon attacks. That is incorrect. It does not increase the damage at all. And you can save and load a game with a bunch of abyssal artifacts, and you can try it yourself. It does not increase the damage. I'm sorry. That is a liar. Alright, grinding out 5 more abyss artifacts. We're going to go ahead and dump more into stamina, and that's still going to cost 2. Alright, let's see. It's still going to cost 2 again for stamina. There we go. That's a second point. We're at level 4 stamina. Now it's going to cost 3 per leveling stamina. So at this point, I would switch back to leveling up health. Oh wait, that one's also at 3. So stamina and health at level 4. Putting our cliff at 600 HP, 200 stamina. I really like being around 240, 260 stamina. That's when the game starts feeling a little bit better. But that is a bit of a grind, and if you've noticed, if you've been grinding along with the video, it's starting to slow down just a bit. It's getting a little pointless, or not really pointless. It's starting to get real slow. And if we push the main story more, we can get a lot more Abyss artifacts as well as from quests. You can also get some stamina from some rewards from quests that just boost your stamina anyway. And we also need to upgrade a lot of our gear. We need to like go skin animals and hunt and start crafting healing items, which we'll work on that in just a bit. Now, one of the rare drops that we got is this Bleed Bandits Alchemy Explosive Pack. This thing is nuts. And it has a limited durability. You can't repair it, unfortunately. So yeah, you gotta... I don't know what you would use this for, but it's a fun item. I'm just going to put it in storage and probably forget about it. But one other thing to note is while I was mindlessly grinding, and the way I'm grinding is I'm just holding the Alt button to block. I'll try to demonstrate in town. I'm like watching YouTube and streams. So I hold Alt to block. I hold left click to swing. This doesn't cost stamina. And I push shift to occasionally spin. And then bandits run at me and get grinded up in the blender, and you just do that for like an hour or two if you're bored while you look at other things on your other monitor, and then you come back and you have a bunch of level ups. And that's pretty much how I've been doing it. Now, one thing is I ended up blender moding some guards because I guess they patrolled on the road, and then I got killed by the guards, which puts you in prison. And when that happens, you lose all your masks. Alright, so anytime that happens, just go buy a new mask from the shady guy over here. There we go. Good thing they don't take away your keys, though. I have like 25 keys, so that's good. But yeah, anytime you get arrested, you lose all your masks forever, permanently. You can't go steal them back, as far as I know. It's a big bummer. By the way, if you ever have a crime record for whatever reason, you can always go to the church and then go to the vendor. And then he has an option called Buy Rid of Absolution. So in Demise, we were pickpocketing, and I owed them 12 copper, so you can just pay that off, whatever. That way, the guards won't be aggro towards you and stuff like that. It's, I don't know, just something you can do. Now is a good time to start working on healing items and upgrades. And so we're going to start with healing items. Now, remember these waypoints to the west of Hernand that we got? This one had a bunch of deer. This one was for fish and goats. And then up here, this one was for bucks. So I'm going to go hunt some bucks. And we have the power now. We have dual wielding. We have upgraded weapons. We have skills that mimic our skills. So we can absolutely just jump on these bucks as soon as... Where are they? Let's see. I guess I'm not seeing them. Alright, so we'll just teleport again, and they should appear. There they are. So again, we can just immediately jump on these guys and shred the ever-living crap out of them, right? So yeah, that's a bunch of dead animals. And we're just going to rinse and repeat this for a little while and get a bunch of materials. Alright, so I farmed deer for a bit, and you can see here, there's also some pigs sometimes, very rare, but the tough meat's from the pig. I only managed to kill one, but we got a bunch of short hair hide, we got small bones, thin hide, fang. I don't know what the fangs are from, honestly, but fine meat. I didn't kill any wolves, so I don't know what I got that from, but 42 longhorns. Got a bunch of stuff. Also randomly picked strawberries, all trying to skin some deer. And so what we can do now is we can go and kill some goats. So yeah. Also, if you're like unsure of how to like approach or fight the goats, I'll demonstrate that for you. Because goats are a lot slower than deer, so they can't really run from you. So you just run up to them, and then you hold your shine out, and then you just hold, left and right click, and you just kill them all. Hopefully you don't blow some of them off the side of the cliff, but yeah. Then you just skin them. I like how I'm not quite skinning it, but it's video game logic. It died on the ledge, but the game thinks it's below us. Anyway, fun times. Alright, so now what I've done is I've grabbed all the materials out of storage, including what I've harvested, and now we can massively upgrade just our armor, our weapons, everything. Alright, so not bad starting off. We have 40 attack power on the swords, and this is after sharpening them, of course. And we have 60 defense, which is really high, also after reinforcing it on the anvil. Now, you'll notice that if you're unaware, you only get bonuses from crit rate, attack speed, movement speed, etc. at increments of 5. So we still need 2 more crit rate. We still need 3 more move speed, 3 more attack speed. But as we level these rings up, they will start giving more and more attack speed. Though Tarnish Ring is just a temporary ring until Chapter 9 when we get the story ring. And our amulet is not upgraded at all. Once we get this to level 3 or 4, this will start giving passive spirit regeneration. But yeah, and this will also boost our crit rate up. And when we start socketing gears into our weapons, and gear of course, then that can boost all of our stats up too. Alright, so now it's time to make healing items. And so what you're going to do is you're going to run down to the butcher because she has a crock pot, or not a crock pot, she has a big stew pot, I guess, right in front, and she's located near the grocer, so we can buy some more ingredients if we need them. But I've got water, I've got meat, I've got some other stuff with us, and so let me show you how and what we're going to be cooking. Now, we have a lot of meat. We have well over 200 meat, and you should too. So here's the thing. 239 fine meat. So what we're going to do, the first thing we're going to cook is just grilled meat, and this is not for eating. This is for gifting. This is gift meat. Okay, I know that sounds weird, right? But we're going to make 100 and not 239. Oh, jeez. This might take a bit. 100 grilled meat. There we go. And again, this is to give to people because people like food. Not everyone will accept food, but generally if they accept food, they accept any type of food, and grilled meat is just a one ingredient thing that's very easy to speed farm. And with our rabbit helmet giving us a +2 to every gift we give, we can build 100 trust very quickly. Alright, so the second meal we're actually going to improvise. We're going to add 1 meat, 1 water, and then 1 grain, which could be oats, it could be beans, it could be barley, it could be lentils. I don't know about peas. I don't know if peas work, but I'm gonna do oats, okay? Because that's a grain, any kind of grain, right? And so when we make this is called clear soup. I'm gonna skip the animation. There it is. Look at it. And man, I'm hungry in real life. So when we make this 3 times, we will then learn the recipe and we could bulk craft it. So there we go. That's the second one we're gonna make there. There it is again. Look at that. Get a close-up of that soup. Alright, I don't know what that would be from. And then the third one, now we have learned the recipe for clear soup, okay? And clear soup heals much more than grilled meat. So that's why we're making it. And we're going to make a lot of it, alright? So now we don't have to improvise anymore. And you would learn the recipe for clear soup in the early parts of Chapter 3, but since we can improvise it now, there's no reason. So now we can swap to clear soup. This thing heals 240 health, which is double of a grilled meat, for only 2 extra easy to get ingredients, right? And so, yeah, we're gonna make the maximum amount. We also want as much clear soup as possible. This is gonna be what we spam heal. This essentially heals us slightly below 50% HP, alright? So there we go. I'm making just a whole bunch of clear soup. And yes, you can use peas. Look at that. So, again, you can use peas, lentils, beans, barley, wheat, buckwheat, corn, oats. It's very versatile. You can use any meat, and, well, you need water. Water is the only non-versatile thing on the menu here. So you can see we go through a lot of water, but we have 36 water left and 72 fine meat, so we need to get some more grains. Now, while you can go to the grocer and just buy from his inventory there, he actually sells a lot more grains just outside. You can see, like, harvest sack. You can go up and hit the buy button, and then there we go. So that bought us 4 beans, and then you can do this to everything outside and inside. We got 4 barley. There's flat barley basket, and again, so just clean this dude out of all of his grains, all of his water. And the meat we can go farm ourselves, which is no big deal. That one was 10 barley, right? And again, this doesn't affect his actual store inventory. This is just how to get more grains than the game kind of normally would want you to allow, I suppose. But yeah, lots of barley, lots of grain. And again, all this stuff is real cheap. We're pretty damn wealthy, right? Now, you can also go inside, and there are, you know, just stacks of stuff in the corner as well. And it's not stealing because we're using the buy function here, okay? So, again, we're just gonna, like, run into the corner. Look at all this. There's a harvest sack. You can just grab it. Peas. Look at that. But yeah, just buy out all his grains. So, there are essentially several different types of food. There is food that only heals you. And a lot of food gives you a random resistance, whatever. They all kind of do that. But there is food that only heals you, and the food that only gives you healing will give you the most healing. Then there's food that will give you healing with a little bit of spirit. We don't ever need that. Then there's food that'll give you a little bit of stamina, and food that'll give you a random buff in attack, defense, and so on. So what you want to do is, if you just purely want healing items, which is what clear soup is, you don't want the filler stuff. You don't want it giving you spirit, because if it gives you spirit, it's not going to heal you as much, and it's going to take a lot more ingredients too. But clear soup being one of the easiest things to make, and you can make it in bulk, right? Because we can farm the meat incredibly easy using the waypoint reset method. Alright, so now I'm going to bind my clear soup to my heal button, and my heal button is 1. Alright, I have 114 clear soups, and we have 100 grilled meats. Now, in a pinch, you could use your gift meat as healing if you really want to. It's not bad. It just doesn't heal you as much, right? If I get badly injured, I'm healing 240 out of 600 HP with a less than 1 second cooldown between being able to eat. So again, that is going to have us set for health food and gift food. Now, unfortunately, these only stack to 20, so they do eat up some inventory space. You don't have to carry all of it with you at once, but generally, because we know how to make money now, and you're going to get another 140 inventory slots as you play the game. It maxes out at 240, all right? Your storage maxes out at 240. In the game files, there's over 1,000 different items, so you can't collect everything. I'm sorry, but you'll have to just use the things that you manage to stockpile. Also, you should always keep a stack of bones and a stack of thin hide. These are also giftable items, along with a stack of copper pouches, obviously. You don't want to gift a full copper, and light copper is also fine, but you don't want to gift the really good pouches. So you can see I've got a stack of bones, a thin hide, longhorns, short horns. All of these are giftable. Now, one other thing that you're also going to want is stamina food. That way you can climb really tall things without running out of stamina, so you can fly for longer and so on. But remember that water well I showed you? Well, I'm going to go down to the communal center here and get some more damn water. By the way, if you want faster buckets of water, you can kind of do this, alright? Move it until you hear the submerge noise. So, there you go. And then lift it until you hear the unsubmerged noise. And there you go. That way, you can just grab it from there like that. And it's kind of silly. You don't have to go all the way down or all the way back up. You can just kind of do up, down, come over, loot it, go back. And yeah, water meta. It's still easier to buy it from vendors. But again, you know, just get you a whole bunch of water because we're going to need it for every food ever in the damn game, right? Just about. Alright, so now we're going to teleport near this area. This is Shadow Whisper Cave. This is north of the town. And we're going to go get some stamina mushrooms. Also, right near the waypoint, now that you have the mining drill, you can, well, it's not equipped, is it? Yeah, you can now mine things on walls, giving you more resources. So, there you go. Very cool. So the first set of mushrooms is going to be right above the S and slightly to the right under the Saints Falls. I'll show you that again. So we took this waypoint and we went northeast across the river and up the cliff, which should be easy for you to navigate now with all of your movement tech. And these are pine mushrooms. So yeah, we're just going to grab as many as we can. Now the second one is going to be, it's like, there's one right there, and there's one that's also above this S a bit, like about right there. But that one's in a cave, so we're going to go to this one first, because the cave is a little awkward to find. Also, while you're out here, you can look on the cliff facings for resources, which you should be mining every time you see from now on with your mining arm drill. Anytime you see resources, just vacuum them up. You're going to need pretty much all of them for upgrades. And you need like so many, like hundreds for your gear. It's awful. It sucks. Alright, here we are at the second mushroom spot. And again, you can come back here every once in a while and pick more mushrooms. It's supposed to be 7 in-game days, but I sometimes feel like it's sooner than that. Or like, it respawns on specific day numbers. So like if you were to harvest everything and then, oh, the day switches over and you were out of the zone, it would reload all the mushrooms again. It's really weird how it works. Alright, so I remember the cave entrance being near the apostrophe here, so I think it's like about right there. No, I was a little off. It's down. It's right here. So I guess maybe you line up the bottom of the S and then you bring it to, I don't know, this line here, maybe kind of. But anyway, this is what the hole looks like. It's pretty deep down. So you just jump in. And yeah, it sucks at night because it's hard to see, but you can just float down here, no big deal. Now there is an enemy down here. You'll notice. If we use our blinding light flash, you'll see it's kind of invisible, whatever it is, but it's right here. So if you just palm it, you can sometimes hit it, right? But like, I wouldn't worry too much about it. Anyway, we're in the cave now, so we're gonna just run to the back of the cave, and there's a little hole here, a little hidey hole. Not too crazy. Yeah, it says there's enemies in here too, right? But where are they? Well, you can just clear the room like this, make a big explosion, and the red dots are gone. Anyway, there's more mushrooms in here to grab, and then once you're done grabbing these mushrooms, you can just fast travel back to town. Alright, so we're back in town, and we're at the waypoint, and this is where we're going to find a free cauldron, okay? We're going to go to the left, and kind of down this alleyway, not towards the castle, but just down this direction, okay? And then we're going to cut down this alleyway. There it is, and you'll see on your map, there's like 2 recipes in this building with a white sheet over a door with like some alchemy junk in the front. And you know you're in the right spot, okay? You go inside, there's a cauldron right here you can use. And it's kind of similar to the cooking recipe that we're going to do. We're going to improvise some mushroom tea. Alright, and to do that, we're going to push the improvise button. We're going to do 2 mushroom and 2 water, and then we're going to make it. And we can skip that, and there we go. Look at that. It's a little pot with a mushroom in it. Oh boy, and that is pine mushroom tea. Now we need to do that 3 times. So there's number 2. Alright, cool. Cool. 1 more time now, and then we can do it in bulk. So 1, 2, 1, 2. Skip cutscene. I like how you just throw it in there. Just throw it in the pot. Okay. And now we can follow a recipe. So we have pine mushroom tea. This heals 224 stamina and gives you ice resistance for 1 minute. So you don't even need the ice cape if you drink one of these. If you're trying to climb something in the snowy mountains, whatever, doesn't matter, okay? But yeah, there we go. We can make 28 of those, because that's how many mushrooms we had. And again, you're only really going to use these stamina food items in a pinch anyway. And by the time you run out of them, those mushrooms will all have grown back. So you can always go back anytime that you need more. Alright, so one thing we can do that is optional is we can go to this gold leaf trading post. And it's nighttime, so I'm not sure if, hey, how come it unmarked it? What? Anyway, we can go down here. We have a lot of stuff we can now trade to specialists, and we might get some really good deals, or we might not. But we can just, you know, dash there. We can get on a horse and go there. There's a whole lot of stuff we can do, right? But, yeah. Let's go make some trades and just see if we get any cool deals. Alright. Let's see if anyone's even there. I mean, it's late, so might not be, but sometimes people are chilling. Alright, what do we got here? What is... Let's see, you are a copper... Oh, wait, no. He's a bird hunter. Alright, cool. But they're kind of sleeping because it's nighttime, right? Bird hunter is really good because you can get 20... Let's bump into him.
You?
There we go. Wake up, dude. Now we're going to hit the gift button. And he takes money, he takes food, and we got plenty of grilled meat for him. So, 15... Look at that. Look how much trust we build on this guy. Boom. There we go. We got full trust. Let's see if we get the 20 or big massive hides. That's a good deal.
You helped me. My thanks.
Right. Is he, what is he doing? Hello?
I'm in a good mood again today.
Did he not gift anything because he was supposed to be sleeping?
Feeling light on my feet.
Okay, there it is. Thick hide. Yeah, 20 thick hide. You know how hard it is to get thick hide? The shop sells 1 at a time per 7 days. We got 20 of them. 20 thick hide for some grilled meat. Whoop-de-doo, right? So yeah, this is a lot. This is like several bears worth. And you may be thinking, oh, but bears, you just go kill them, you skin them, no problem. No, bears have a shit ton of health. Bears are like a boss fight, okay, and not an easy boss fight. They rough you up. They're gonna take a lot of healing items to tank through their damage, okay. So yeah, we just took a big win on the bird hunter there. And if you if you look at him, his trust thing was all the way up. What is this guy? That guy's a stranger. Who cares, right? What do we have over here on this side? This guy's also stranger, so no specialist there. So in that case, we would save our game, and then we could load it, and we could just continue on and on and on, and stockpile some of the best, easiest to get, like, sometimes you get really rare stuff doing this. Now, one thing you can do also, you can just save load and it puts you right below it. And there is a bonfire, so you can just wait. Well, is this one gonna let me wait? Yeah, there we go. So we can wait until daytime. There we go. We'll go 1 p.m. instead of 1 a.m. so the people will be awake. Alright, this time we have a meat guy. This guy is Meat Porter, and we're gonna go ahead and gift him. And hey, look at that. Trust by 10, but it's 12 because we have the helmet. Not that it really helped, but anyway. There we go. We got 20 iron ore. Look at that. Easy iron ore. Who's over here? We got Stranger. What's the blonde dude? Stranger. All right, cool. So I think that's a win. 20 iron ore for some meat. Hell yeah. And yes, I know later in the game there are these little crab enemies in higher level zones that you can beat up and they drop a ton of iron ore. I know that, but early game this is pretty easy. Alright, this time we have a porter. Alright, let's see. He has got a big old oak barrel. He's a little hard to target because my character wants to steal the barrel and not gift him. So let's try to talk to him from this side maybe. We just need to get a good frontal... Oh, he doesn't like the light there. We're gonna crouch down maybe.
Hello.
Yeah, it's it's making it hard for me to target him, damn it. Okay, well... He's being standoffish right now, but who do we have over here? We have 2 strangers. Boo. Yeah, these guys are just having a conversation, but I want to give them a gift.
From above.
Let me gift you. We gotta like stare at his toes. Okay, again, with the meat. These guys just love their meat. Alright, I don't want to gift them the soup though. Alright, there we go. What does the porter got? Again, every specialist has this goofy backpack.
Just in case you ever
Small plant pot, so that sucks, right? That is a garbage item. You can get that from anybody. So, porter, no good, or that, maybe we got a fail roll, right? So I would load game because I don't want to waste the meat. Now, I got another bird hunter here, so again, we're gonna just gift him a bunch of meat, and they won't always give you the same thing. I actually gifted him one too many meats, but
you help me.
It's random what they give you. But it's in a set pool of stuff. Also, the dog spooked them. I've noticed that the dog... the dog can run into enemies or people and make them off kilter. So maybe while you're doing this, let's unsummon the pet. Yeah, get out of here. Right. Hey, excuse me,
I'm in a good mood again today.
Yeah, the dog interrupted the gift giving.
Feeling light on my feet.
There it is, Sturdy Hide. Alright, not bad. Sturdy Hide's another rare one. Look at that. You don't get as many, though. And, yeah. Let's see. Can be purchased at the tannery, obtained by skinning giant reptiles. So, yeah, the reptiles are in the desert areas. So that's way up here, right? But yeah, that's actually more than enough hide that I'll need for, like, all the upgrades, I'm pretty sure. Like, if we go to the tanner, and it should have been a week, he should have restocked by now. Look at him. Slaps that table. Sturdy Hide, stock 2, right?
Quality is guaranteed.
Thick Hide, stock 3. Yeah, I'm just buying all the hide anyway, fuck it. Right, but yeah, just buy this dude out every freaking week he restocks. Alright, it's finally time to do the Troubled Count. So go into Journal, Faction Quest, go to House Roberts, click on Troubled Count, and he's right here in town. Go talk to him. Alright, after that, you'll have to reopen the journal again because it doesn't auto-allocate the quest for some reason to Stolen Quarry. And look at that, it's defeat the Excavatron. There we go. Well, we've been grinding that area for a bit, and the boss, it's right up top. We have the waypoint. Let's get to it. So, this boss is incredibly easy, despite what you may have seen other YouTubers doing. I'll show you the trick. So, fun bug, my character spawned in, stuck in the air, and I'm just gonna get drilled to death now. Look at that. Dude. I skipped through the cutscene as fast as I could, and it just spawned me in the air, upside down, getting drilled. I don't understand. I've never seen that bug before. So in this boss, attacking it when it's not stunned will almost always get you punished, so what you have to do is wait for it to try to burrow underground. There will be a bright yellow flash, and then you just blind it with your blinding sword attack, and then you can wail on it. It's real simple. So there it goes. We're gonna blind it, and yeah, it literally pulled it out from underground. I know. And then you just beat it up. Now that wasn't really the optimal combo to do on it when it's stunned. That was just a random combo, okay? But yeah, just wait for it to burrow. It'll sit here and throw out some attacks, but it will eventually try to burrow down. There we go. Nope, not yet. Wait for the yellow flash. There it is. Alright, stun, and then, again, do your full combo on it. Even do a turning slash, but don't get too greedy because it'll punish you with its drills. Now, another very easy way to beat this boss is with the Beehive Club. I'll go ahead and show you the damage on the Beehive Club. There we go. And we gotta... Oh, it's burrowing. Now, it's already underground, so if that happens, jump up and then pound the ground with your Force Palm, alright? You can also Force Palm it once to lower its defense. I don't have any Spirit right now, so I can't do that. But we can focus a bit. And you can parry this, by the way. You can absolutely parry this if you want to play it that way. But you don't really have to. It won't really let you attack it after a parry. It'll just attack you again. You have to wait until it burrows. Every boss fight in this game is a puzzle. And this is how you solve this puzzle, right? So it's burrowing. There we go. We blind it. And then we just beat on it. And there we go. That's one combo with the Beehive. Now, check out the bees. The bees are stinging the hell out of him right now. He's taking lots of damage. Now, before the patch, the bees did even more damage. It would chunk so much of his health away. But, you know, I'm going to take this off because I want to save it. Alright, he's going underground. We're going to stun. And then we can just combo here into some heavy slashes. But if you get greedy, he will punish you with the drill. Which I was trying to show that on purpose, just so you can see what it kind of looks like, okay? So it will chunk your health, but you have 114 heals. You can top yourself up, no problem. And you don't have to play it this slow. Like, if you're like a speedrunner, obviously, you're just going to wail on this thing and kill it and then just spam food to heal through the damage, right? But this is one easy fight. There is no reason you should lose this. It's a puzzle. It just takes a little bit of time, but there we go. We defeated the Excavatron, whatever. And your reward is you get a map that shows you all the gold mines in the game. Or the area. I don't know if it's the area or the game. I'm pretty sure it's the game, but whatever. And fast forward through this. Come on now. But yeah, you will need gold for some gear upgrades, mainly accessories, I believe. But it's useful. It's useful if you don't want to use a third-party map on a website or something like that. But in order to, you know, get it revealed, you go to the map here, and then you go to Gold Vein Map, you check it, there you go, knowledge acquired. Cool. Awesome. Alright, now we have to speak with the foreman or whoever's down here to finalize the quest. So what the game wants you to do is take this elevator all the way to the top, and operate the crane, which we did earlier to get our rabbit helmet, but this is the big crane. Now, if you want to be extra autismal, then you could just jump up there, you know, do the double jump, do the free palm, and, you know, we have the stamina to be able to stab our way to the top, so we might miss it there a little bit. Oh, maybe. Yeah, we can make that jump. Not enough stamina. What do you mean? I'm jumping, bro. We'll pull our stuff up. Whatever. But yeah, this is the cool man's way to do it. Now, it will make you use a key to open this door. I know, it's kind of stupid. They didn't just give us a key, but whatever. And you go to the control panel, and again, it's the same minigame that we did at the start of the game, except this time the rock is a little to the right. It's a little awkward, and it's a little slower, but yeah, it's that big square stone that we're hovering over. Anyway, you can figure this one out. Now, although we opened it, we're gonna return to Count Robert's in town. There is no reason to go in that hole we made until way later in the game when you get a cuckoo pot and you can yoink relics and store them. And when you have Force Palm Punch that lets you punch through walls, we don't have that yet. There is nothing down there to get, trust me on this. Just go back to town and turn in the quest. You'll be fine. So, fun thing, this quest reward now gives you an engraved gold earring, so you never actually have to go get the witch's earring, but the reason we get the witch's earring is because it's already upgraded, kind of, sort of. whereas the engraved gold one isn't. Also, the quest gives you Azurite and Bloodstone. There's going to be a lot of questing later that gives you these kinds of materials, so you don't have to go mining as much. But yeah, that's pretty much it. On a random tip, if you happen to see this guy walking around town, his name is Aspirant. Alright? You can only gift him money pouches, but he gives you one of the best potions in the game, and that is the Solomon's Holy Water. And what this does is you would drink this before a tough boss fight, and whenever you get brought down to 0 HP, it fully heals you back up to 100%. So yeah, that's pretty cool, and you can get these all the time when you see these dudes in town. They don't always give it to you, but you can always just, you know, save, and then gift them, and then load game. Gifting is way broken in this game. Alright, so that's just about everything you can do in Chapter 2 to get really overpowered. Yeah, you can kind of inch your way with more upgrades, or you can keep grinding and get more skill points, but in Chapter 3, you unlock the camp, and the camp can do a whole lot of stuff. It can farm certain materials faster than you can. It can eventually farm the Abyssal upgrade points artifact. I always forget the damn name. But spending too much time in Chapter 2 is not a good idea. But we are more than overpowered enough to be able, even for the worst of gamer, to take on this boss. So we're just going to travel to the... Why can't I fast travel? Is it because I'm moving? But anyway, yeah, just go to the fast travel and take out Hornsplitter. He's going to be really easy. So during the Hornsplitter fight, spam your right-click heavy melees on him to force him to teach you a new move. There we go. And what he's going to do is he's going to do that little dodge attack thing, but we need to do it inside the arena or it won't count. So we're just going to, again, run at him, just spam your right-click, and he's going to do his attacks, whatever. But again, just run at him, right-click a bunch, he will eventually do it. Just tank his attacks, it's fine. You just need to... Come on, do it. I don't know why he hasn't done it yet. But yeah, just sit here and right-click him, he will eventually dodge it. Now he's doing his big attack, whatever. You have plenty of food, you can face tank everything. Once he does the skill, I can move on to the next part, where I teach you how to stun lock him and stuff, but whatever. Anyway, this is not normally how I would fight this guy. I'm trying to show you. He's gonna die. There it is, right there. So that's evasive roll, alright? So, once you learn that, you learned it, we're good. Now, the way to beat him is when he's not doing an attack, you just do the blinding thing, that's gonna stun him, and then you just combo him. And that's the whole fight. That is the easiest part of the fight. And, yeah, it's about to get gory, so I'm gonna skip that part. But yeah, the blinding flash thing does not work on him if he is in the middle of an attack. However, if he is not currently casting a spell or swinging his sword, you can stun him with it every time, and then you just do your blinding flash finisher on him. That'll chunk his health down. If you're having more trouble, then all you gotta do is pull out the Beehive stick and beat him with it. Alright, so this is wrapping up the video. I'm not going to give you a guide for the entire game, but Chapter 3 and beyond, what I recommend that you do is that you heavily beeline the main story quests, and once you get the camp up and rolling, you beeline the camp quests. And when you have no more camp quests, you go back to the main story, and then whenever you get camp quests, you go back to the camp quests. And anytime you have an ability to unlock research, you get those cooking. And, yeah. So, later on, you're going to get elemental, you know, ways to imbue yourself with elemental stuff. That's fun. You're going to be able to socket all of these, we just got Sword of the Lord, right? But you can take Wind Slash off of there. You can take all this other crap off of this sword. Put it on your actual good swords. And, yeah, you're just going to have so many different upgrades. But when you push the main story, that's going to upgrade you the most at this point. We've already done all the footwork. Just push main story. You're not going to blockade yourself out of anything anymore, at least. All the good stuff that, you know, we could access early, we already did through this guide. And there's not much more to say, just now you can make a backup save, and you can enjoy the game. If you ever want to restart, you can restart super powerful with all the legwork already done for you. But yeah, this is the best possible start post-patch. Alright, I already made this video once, but they patched a bunch of movement tech out and some other things, and I added some more optimizations to this one. And this time I'm gonna publish it not to my subscribers so that maybe it'll get a larger reach. But we'll see. Hopefully YouTube does its thing. If not, I've got to go play something else. Anyway, guys, I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you watching. I have no life, no friends, no family, no life obligations. My entire life is simply spent playing video games and refreshing my YouTube most recent comments. So that means I read every comment. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I will answer if they weren't already answered in the video, or if it isn't like glaringly, stupidly obvious. Anyway, that's all I've got. I know the bunny mask is stupid looking, but it's the best damn helmet, whatever. Maybe someone will mod it where you can transmog it into something cooler. But click the video on the right side of your screen. If you don't, and you own a pet, then that pet's gonna puke a big nasty mess in the next 2 days.